Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between. Hello. How are you? This is a big moment. In fact, it's so big that I unfortunately have to burn your eyes out. Sorry, not sorry. Hi. Big moment. Shit. Forgot the lighting. Boom. This is a big moment, and I'm not sharing it alone. Today, I have Andy. Okay. Fuck you. That's what I jump back into. Sweet. Thank you, Reese. I have Andy, Tom, Anthony, and Reese with me today. Fuck me.
Girls, well, we're late.
We're late.
And also, why we're looking at the sky for 5 minutes.
We're late and we look at the sky for 5 minutes because I haven't eaten anything today and I was making grub. And I still haven't.
Literally the time that you were streaming.
You snorted cocaine off.
I should have just put the stream back. You can hear now. Don't worry. I forgot to unmute them. Anyways, I was gonna say, you've waited long enough, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm echoing myself. Sweet.
I mean, they could have just gone and watched the trailer.
They could just watch my trailer.
Yeah.
Why are you in a trailer?
Two trailer park girls go around the outside, around the outside.
Look at that face. Look at him.
The problem is, Cheryl shows me that kind of face as well sometimes when I just chat shit at her.
Yeah, so. I get that from
Alright, cool. Yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen.
Does that mean Chris is a
Shut the fuck up!
You're reading in beer!
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's on your t-shirt? Chris, I really like your gaming chair. It looks really good, actually.
Reese, stop the back again!
Chris.
I'll tell you later! Anyways.
What's that thing above your head, Chris?
Can we fucking continue?
Chris, I hate to say it, but are you in Norway?
Hey Chris, this stream started.
I'm gonna deafen if you guys don't fucking behave in a second.
There's no cathedral going on. What's going on?
I haven't been in a cathedral yet.
I'm deafening myself until this shit's done.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, we're deafened until this shit's done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have the long-awaited Caledonia Works GWR Hawksworth Cathedrals. We have them, ladies and gentlemen. We got them. And now I'm gonna undeafen again because these cunts probably are roasting the shit out of me.
That looks really good.
Hi.
Chris, what are your do you have Audio Enhancer?
Yeah.
Pro?
Yeah, I bought it.
Mate, that's pretty banging, I'm not gonna lie.
That does look pretty good.
That's not how my train sim looks, because that's a filter I use on OBS.
Oh, god damn, that's actually really good.
Man, that's pretty hot.
I know, right?
Anyway, so, the Great Bear, let's have a...
okay, yeah. So the Great fucking Bear, yeah? It's a fucking bear! Anyways,
Oh.
Yeah, go look at the Great Bear, because it's, it existed, you know?
Let's go back to the main attraction. This is the predecessor of this. This didn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen.
Him man chonk.
It's a fucking cathedral! We've done it.
Is it?
Well, have we?
Yeah, we have. This
It looks a bit like a Stanley of Princess Royal to me.
Oh god. He's done it. He's only gone and done it.
I would be lying if I said I expected professionalism from the stream, but fucking hell, guys.
Look, right, it's your fault for inviting us here for this.
Yeah.
Have you not seen what we did like 10 years ago?
Yes, I have.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
If you've seen the back catalogue of like videos,
Andy, I know exactly what it was because I used to fall asleep to those videos. All right.
Okay.
It's getting boring. I see how it is.
Did you just hear that?
No, I
was going to say I'm actually really offended by this.
Yeah, I'm gonna down some Kofferberg now because I'm so offended.
Fair. Hey, look, there are more of them.
Ooh, hello.
Oh god, nice lag you got there.
Sweet.
Why the fuck is there a... Chris, delete him.
Why are you back there?
What? Because it's my channel. Anyways, speaking of because it's my channel, I forgot to do something.
Exist? Oh, you forgot to pan the sky down earlier.
No, I forgot to do the watermark. Anyways, there we go.
Right, so that's a great start.
Sweet. Watermark is now on. We got it. Anyways, yeah, hello. Meet Westminster Cathedral, Boob, and I think that's Exeter? Yes.
Might be. No, yeah, it might be Exeter.
Yeah, Westminster, Exeter, and I believe that's Gloucester.
And John.
Boob is Gloucester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here you see some of the unique liveries that you can also get with this pack, like the
Oh,
fucking
yeah, I love BR
apple
Black.
green.
I love the BR Black on the right left-hand side there.
Yeah, the Cathedral one is fucking great. Cathedral and BR Black, not coming with the pack, by the way. Anyways.
Anyway, carry on. Let's go on, Chris. Go on.
Yeah, so we finally have the Cathedral in game after keeping it a secret from you fucks for fucking months.
Wow, wow, Chris. You just called the audience fucks, right?
Yeah, don't you?
They should be. Yeah, no, I'd call them cunts.
Oh yeah, same shit, different rapping.
Shame rapping different shit.
Oof.
That was my approval, but
You know,
by the way.
I have a question.
No.
I have a question.
Are you guys bored of just panning shots? Should we just drive it already?
No, keep panning around. You
No.
look gorgeous.
Okay. Hey, what the fuck? Wait.
Skypan.
Oh, you were supposed to be deleted. Why are you up there?
Who is that?
That's Virgil.
It's the Virgil
Black.
Black.
Oh, Riley.
No, it's Virgil.
Oh, right. Oh, it's Virgil. For a moment, I thought it was Pilot.
I was supposed to delete him, but for some reason he stayed there. Cool. Anyway, so yeah.
Not Pilot. Where
His
is
name
Pilot?
Pontius Pilate.
The
Just
big deal about the Cathedral that a lot of people were pissed off about is the fact that we didn't put a brass safety valve bonnet on it. And to those people, I have this to say.
Hi. Oh my god, he's Oh.
There we go. And
Yeah.
no.
Can I give it? No, actually, Andy, you explain why it's basically got a princess boiler. Go.
Yeah.
No.
Right, fine, I'll do it then.
All right. Hang on.
Right.
Before that.
Oh.
I'm gonna let these gentlemen explain to you some of the build qualities while I go put my fucking food in the toaster. Go for it!
Should we just sit here and silence?
Nobody says a single word.
What we're going to do? Actually, no. Instead of discussing the cathedral, Andy, should we discuss the Great Bear things in the background?
Yeah, why not?
Right, the
I'd
Great
rather
Bear.
discuss the pannier on the calling stage.
Would you? Right, okay. So the Great Bear and the Pannier, right, are engines that existed. The cathedral is the Princess Royal in drag. Fight me.
Okay.
No one fighting me. Brilliant. Anyway, no. The reason that the engine looks like this and has the boiler like that without a brass safety valve bonnet is because the only drawing that existed of this, which was just a line drawing, like a weight diagram, I think it wasn't even like fully done or anything. It doesn't actually show a Great Western safety valve bonnet. So, as for the front bogey, we thought it looked nice. Basically, Andy, you still there? Hello.
Yeah.
Right, jump in. I'm sick of talking.
I don't know. You've said everything.
Bollocks. Reese, quick, go. Or Anthony, someone, anyone.
I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit sad that we couldn't have the brass safety valve bonnet, but the thing is, with the loading gauge that was in place, if you put the brass safety valve bonnet on the top where the dome is, it would have just looked a bit silly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It also
It
would
is
have been...
sad, but yeah, that's how it is. Plus, on the design that Andy... This is actually correct as per that design, isn't it?
As drawn, this is basically how it would have looked anyway. So, yeah.
And you got to remember that it is a fictional... Well, it's not fictional because there was a design of it actually produced by the Great Western. But...
It's a very rudimentary design.
It was rudimentary, and it was... I mean, it is, technically speaking, it is fictional. Because I reckon that if Hawksworth had been serious about getting it built, it probably would have had the plate frame front bogey. It probably would have had the overall straight splashes like the counties did. There probably would have been some other sundries and differences. However, not that particularly matters, because just look at it. It does look really hench. And the fact is, this is the first commercially available fictional locomotive design for TS, if that's the correct wording.
I believe you're right.
Because there've been other fictional locos built, unless someone in the comments wants to correct us, of course, because I actually can't work out whether there is another commercially available fictional loco, because obviously we all know that Mr. Dexby designs his own locos. We've got my big chunky thing. I'm trying to think of any other fictional locos. Oh no! There's also the drivable Simba.
Oh, isn't there the Midland Railway thing that's being... Oh, no, we're not going to mention.
I have no strong opinions on that.
We have no strong opinions of that.
Don't forget the Enterprise.
Oh yeah, the USS Enterprise is now a thing, and there used to be. I can't remember if it's in TS or MFTS, but wasn't there like a BR UFO? Does anyone remember it of UK Train Sim?
Yeah, I remember.
Someone's asking about the fictional liveries as well. Well, technically, some of them are fictional. Some were carried on other members. Like at the moment, you've got the Great Western lined. I don't know whether they would have been unlined, but we went for unlined anyway for the testing phase, didn't we, Andy?
Yeah.
You've also got
Food's done.
there's BR and BR Blue, with like the BR Early Craft Blue, which is the like test experimental one. Then you got Apple Green, which was worn on a castle. Ultramarine that I think was on a king.
King, yeah.
And then you got the standard BR Brunswick Green with early and late crests, a weathered version of the BR livery in late condition, and then the final variant you get is what we have dubbed the celebrity member of the class, which is 8019 FW Hawksworth CME, which has a commemorative little bell, but we're not going to spoil what that's all about. Because unless Andy wants to spoil it, I think Andy's going to explain it in our history video that we're planning anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's them actually doing their job for once and actually talking about the logo.
So
I saw my job. I'm not employed.
I take this incredibly seriously, I'm afraid.
I have a big issue.
What's that?
The trailer video has been shared in fucking everything Great Western, the Facebook group, and I'm a bit like,
oh
no.
Well, this will be fun. Right, everyone.
This wasn't something that was gonna happen.
You do, yeah. This is a thing that will occur.
It's alright, I could just go onto the video and like disallow embedding so it won't be seen on their thing. That could go
Why
well.
don't you want it seen?
I thought the whole point was we want it seen. Anyway,
Do we?
Western, like, I don't think they're going to watch this particular stream, but if anybody out there wants to bring up the argument, for one thing, it's fictional and doesn't, like, it's just a fictional design. It's a what if. Secondly, we're quite aware of all the other facts and figures about the cathedrals, as in, like, we already know that it wasn't, like, physically designed. It wasn't going to physically be built. But where's the harm in a little bit of fun for a game, right? I mean, like, you've seen some of the fictional cars that are designed for certain games. So why can't we have a fictional design in Train Sim?
Hey guys.
Hello, Chris. What have you done?
You know you love me, right?
No.
Not particularly.
So you know how TS sometimes does this thing where it doesn't have sounds?
You're an absolute idiot.
Are we gonna have to go to a loading screen for 30 minutes?
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Well, Andy.
Let me just check with this. Actually, we got a fitting image here. Yeah, have fun with this while I sort this shit, and you'll hear us bantering in the background. Fucking hell.
Right, so let's discuss what's just happened, right? So Chris is an incompetent person.
This is not my fault!
Wow, my ears, man.
Someone they thought it didn't have sounds. It does have sounds.
Just not the SSS ones.
Yeah. Well, it does. No, it does have SSS sounds, but they're not the sounds that we were going to be going with.
Yeah.
Chris decided to forego SSS actually coding the sounds, and decided to just put it together himself.
Yeah. Similar to what he did with Big Chunky.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I suppose while we're waiting for Chris to reload it, then we will take some questions in the chat, I suppose.
Yeah, questions in the chat.
Look at. Okay.
Let's see. Is there anything at the moment?
Like anything like history related or physics related or anything like that, we will explain to a certain degree, except when Andy says no, don't talk about that.
Oh. Well, if you want me to talk about it, I'm quite happy to talk about stuff.
Please
so
do, Andy. Please do. That's the whole point.
I just wait for some questions and stuff. If people want to ask some questions, fire away, and I'll try and answer them as much as I can.
Well, while we wait for some, I'm gonna ask.
Right. Okay. I'm muting Riley.
Okay.
Put user in timeout. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question, Andy. Could you give us a brief fictional history? Thanks, Chris.
Chris.
I know it's your stream, but please,
Sorry.
can you give us an abridged fictional history of the class as we have designated it in this form?
Okay. Sure. Blah blah blah. So sometime in 1945, towards the end of 1945, there was a rudimentary drawing made of a Pacific, and in our history, they decided to go with it. Seeing as there was Pacifics from all other regions, and the Great Western just wanted to sort of cash in on it and have a Super Pacific for their big sort of top link expressors. Although this is quite a bit of a diverge from what actually happened, because they were more than happy with their kings and castles at the time. Basically, in early sort of 1946, the prototype of the class number 8000 was outshot, followed by a further 4 by the end of June and July. The earliest one was online delivery, went out, did some testing between Paddington and Bristol, and then was named in Paddington. Then it was sent to Lara, where the idea of the loco was for it to be basically a replacement for double heading over the Devon banks. Like, it was supposed to be, capable enough to take heavy trains up and over the Devon banks without needing a pilot engine or a bank or anything like that. So they put it under testing to run up and down the banks for a few weeks to see what they got. Initial tests were positive, although tweaks were needed, and already there were talks about the double chimney being maybe applied to the class, although this didn't happen until the end of the second batch. The rest of the batches were built up until the end of the Great Western in December 1947, and everything after 8010 were double chimneyed, built from scratch. 8010 was given all the gubbins as a test bed, and then when that was seen to be satisfactory, they continued to fit it to the rest of the class. And then once that was done, under BR, the remaining ones that were single chimney were slowly converted to double chimney, and all of them were double chimney by 1954. At the beginning of their lives, they were based in Old Oak, Bath Road in Bristol, and Lara in Plymouth, and they ran all of the sort of main expresses: the Cornish Riviera, the Bristolian, the Royal Duchy.
Yes.
What else? Yeah, I'm trying to think of other trains. Well, that's about it.
Red Dragon, Capitals United.
Eventually that was sort of towards the end of BR.
Yeah.
When they were getting a bit more laps with the routes that they could get on. In 1948, the locomotive exchange trials were organised. 8017, which is called Dreadnought, was sent to the Midland region and ran between Euston and Glasgow on the West Coast Main Line. We've written that it performed well and achieved an average speed of 92.3 miles an hour on this journey, which is quite a feat, which is around the same as sort of the Princess Royal. So we're looking at as much as it's cliche to say, that it is basically a Great Western Princess Royal at this point.
We're back.
I'm going to carry on because fuck you,
Keep
Chris.
going. I'm just going to reverse the
Yeah,
train.
we're going to carry on.
I'm just going to reverse the train until we're going.
The performance that we've written basically showcased some of the improvements that Hawksworth might have made to Stanier's design in the construction of his own locomotives, because they worked together underneath Churchward, and before Stanier disappeared, they would have had the same kind of ideas. They worked on the Kings and the Great Bear together, so there would have been some sort of shared knowledge. And Stanier disappeared off to the LMS with a set of King drawings, so there would have been back and forth. Under the exchange trials, number 8003 Exeter Cathedral was sent to the Eastern region. We're saying that poor quality coal and the fact that it was still a single chimney with lower grade superheating led to issues running at high speeds, which sort of proved the Great Western right in wanting to go for double chimney variants of the class, because they were it basically showed them up in front of their big rival, and it didn't do very well. The other one that was sent to the Southern, we're saying, was 8012, which is Llandaff Cathedral, which is I think in Cardiff, running like the services like the Golden Arrow and the Bournemouth Bell to take the heavier trains, and then taking West of England services. Because of its sort of smaller driving wheels, it was really good at the sort of stop-start nature of the West of England services, and obviously with the abundance of power it had, it could easily handle like Pullman trains and stuff like that. So it was quite a success on the Southern and the Midland, but not so much on the Eastern. But we've put that down to we don't want the locos to be a Mary Sue, and we also want to be a bit more realistic with the fact that, you know, the coal that the Eastern region was using was obviously not to the Western sort of really crappy style of wanting to use Welsh coal all the time. They eventually, what we've said is like displaced Kings on the top link expresses, which then displaced Castles, which then displaced Stars. Basically, all the Stars that were withdrawn, and the Star rebuilds were withdrawn a bit earlier in our sort of timeline.
Yeah, basically the hierarchy would change slightly so that the Cathedral could take the King jobs, King would take the Castle jobs overall, Castles would still be running, but not many of them would have been built towards the end. Like, I think did we say that, Andy? Like, a few more, like the last batches of Castles might not have been built in this.
Well, yeah, I don't know where they might not have been, but they also might have been.
Yeah, it's vague. It basically is open to interpretation, but this is what we think. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like, this entire history is open to interpretation, and I'm going to make a proper full video with editing and stuff and flashy visuals eventually. Tom and I are going to work on that. So everything that I'm doing right now is basically me kind of looking at what's relevant on the history planning document and telling you guys. We interestingly decided that we wanted, after the Harrow and Wheelstone crash on the Midland region in 1952. We were going to have the Western region loan a couple of cathedrals to the Midland region, which is a bit of like a switcheroo from when the Kings needed maintenance on the Western region. The Midland region lent a few Duchesses. So I wanted to do a little bit of a sort of switcheroo. So we've just said that like it was number 8000, 8010 and 8016 were sent to the Midland region to cover until the Duke of Gloucester was built. So they were like on rotation, those three. They weren't like always all three of them there. So it's just, it was just something, another bit of extra sort of variety, I guess.
We're trying to fit them in to give them a sort of like more a varied history rather than just they existed and just ran.
Yeah,
like, exactly. You know, like from Plymouth to, from like London to Bristol or London to Plymouth or whatever. But,
so towards the end of their lives, so we're getting on towards like the 60s now, 50s, late 60s. After 1962, when the Kings had been withdrawn and the route restrictions had been eased, the cathedrals basically ended up going a lot further than they usually would be. So we had sort of Cardiff or Swansea or Shrewsbury via the Welsh Marches, services from Paddington to Hereford, Gloucester, Worcester, Kemble, all that kind of direction up to Cheltenham, just to give them a bit more of a sort of like a bit like the Kings, where they ended up having sort of the most varied bit of their life working towards the end, where they were going sort of all over the place. Although I don't think they made it to Swansea, but that's just
By the way, Andy, just to clear it up, because I see a lot of people mentioning it, there were with the cathedral now, there were 5 4-cylinder locomotives that the Western made, right?
Star, Castle, King, Cathedral, Bear.
Yeah.
If you count the Bear.
Yeah. Chris, you're quiet as fuck. Riley, you're ugly as fuck. Alright, hang on. Let me boost mine up then. Congratulations, you're now ear raped yourself, Baba boy.
Okay. I'm not gonna. I won't talk about the speed record. Well, okay. We basically said that 8018 made a sort of Great Western speed record going down Whiteball, but there's that's still open to interpretation.
Basically, we wanted there to be the class record was something like 92 odd miles an hour, I think, wasn't it?
No,
Or 95.
no.
What was it then?
Well, the class
100
record.
The class record, yeah.
Yeah, but going downhill, we said that it reached 112.7, but that's because it was on a lighter load going downhill, all that kind of stuff. All the companies cheated and went downhill to do
speed runs, yeah.
Dusty, we haven't quite got to which ones carried what, although I would like... My idea was that 1802, so Bristol Cathedral, would carry BR Blue. Be one of the ones that carried BR Blue, so there's one of them that's specific.
I would also be cheeky a bit here.
Yeah.
Would it make sense on the exchange house that the one that went to the eastern region got to carry the apple green?
Might have been. That's not a bad shout. Still haven't completely thought about that actually.
Yeah,
we're
still
the
working
more
out
people, the more people ask questions like that, the more that I can actually think about it.
You can use this in the documents anyway, because we can rewrite it a bit before it's released anyway. But this is the draft, basically.
Yeah. It's good that
I think we said that Landaf was in. I can't remember what Livery said Landaf was in when it went to the western, the southern region.
No,
what I do know is it would have been. It would have been it would have been quite handy with all the problems that the Bully Pacifics were having at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there was a few interesting questions further up the chat, but I did notice one that, as Andy's still on track about it, we have discussed what we're doing with these in preservation, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm about to go through
Into that.
I'm about to go into the withdrawal and preservation.
Can I start
so
off first?
Go on.
Okay. So.
What?
I said, ask me if I could set off, start the journey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right, yeah. Chris is now going to drive while we talk about Prez and withdrawal.
So wish me luck, because I'm not the best driver of these things. I'm learning.
Just go.
Just go.
Alright.
Okay.
Ladies and
Cool,
gentlemen.
you carry on.
And for God's sake, get a headboard on. And
my
lamps.
Sit
God.
tight. I'm going with my
I'm already
favorite
sitting.
one. There we go. And then I'm doing Oops, that's the wrong one. Shut up, Tom. Anyways.
I didn't say anything.
Get ready for the absolute chunk that is the base of this engine as it starts off.
Yeah, we'll be quiet for this.
See you on the flip side.
That's an interesting question, actually, James. Issues with the bullies with a couple of cathedrals being loaned along with the V2s.
Well, yeah,
I
I
mean-
think that was it depending on the timing, because I
Yeah.
I was more going for when during the exchange trials they would have been pretty good. I'm not sure whether they would have been loaned back because of their heavy axle loading.
Yeah.
We can bear in mind the bullied merchant navies were pretty heavy. That's why so many light Pacifics were built. I'm not sure whether there was actually that much call for a merchant navy with the power of the not merchant navy, the cathedral for the merchant navies.
Yeah.
And plus they would have been needed back on the western region, I think, anyway.
Yeah, at this point.
So, shall we talk about withdrawal and preservation then? Because I'm sure
Yeah, I was
people
just
are
going to answer a
that
few questions in the chat, actually. So,
Oh, okay.
LNER4489 asked if the reverser handle moves. Everything moves pretty much in the cab.
Yeah, let me show the cab.
Yeah.
Yeah, whilst you do that,
Screen?
David Whitling asked, is this the first time you'll have actually driven the loco, or is this the first time just showing the loco off publicly? And, right, okay, so we've had the cathedral for about, where is it, Tuesday, I think we got it?
Wednesday.
And Wednesday. We got it on Wednesday. So, I don't know about the rest of them, but I've been driving it basically 24/7.
I've been driving it a lot as well.
We've been
We've been
testing it
beta
a lot.
testing, we've been driving, I've been basically taking it up any hill I can get it up. Basically today is the first day we're showing it off on YouTube publicly, so I've made a trailer video and Chris is doing this live stream. There'll be further videos to follow, I'll be doing a showcase and Tom will be doing his dark tries and Reese will be doing a a driver thing with Sam Stevenson, I think. Is that right, Reese?
A driver thing.
I don't know what you call it.
Driver experience thing. Virtual footplate.
Virtual footplate. There it is.
Which I will point out yet again that Reese nicked the idea off me.
Oof.
Can I just
thought I'm not salty at all.
Can I just point out as well? It should be called driver inexperienced because it's Reese driving.
That's funny.
David, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I think it's
Pascal.
Pascal.
Pascal. There we go. Cool. Right. Cool. It would be King's Cross because much like the Kings, I think they'd literally only be limited to the Hull route. So King's Cross, Hull is how the King was on the Eastern region, and because of how fat they are, they just need to do exactly the same.
I did see a few interesting questions further up as well. Like, for example, one of them was, I'll read about for you, Andy. What was the estimated tractive effort of this?
I have it written down here somewhere, actually.
I already know the answer to this.
Oh, you already know. I'm going to find it.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, because I've lost it.
Estimated tractive effort of the Cathedral class was £40,500 of force.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Which in comparison, a King is about the same, I think.
Yeah, so...
However, the difference would be that this had a bigger firebox.
Driving wheels and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it basically built... And again, the whole idea we're coming up with is that they were built to handle the heavier trains up the South Devon banks without needing assistance, which is where possibly sometimes they might have even only run... Like, later, I suppose we could say they ran Exeter to Plymouth, whereas, like, a Castle or something would have taken the higher speed run out of Bristol, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, because although all the quick drives that come with this are about 13 coaches, which is great, like, you know, if you want to just sort of slog along at like 60, 70 miles an hour, I think going over the Devon banks, you'd probably have no more than sort of 7, 8, 9 coaches. And
that's important to point out as well, isn't it? That this isn't a sprinter.
No.
This is not built to be a sprinter, it's supposed to be a marathon runner.
Even though we've said it, broke a speed record.
Yeah, but that's downhill. I got it to 111 downhill, shut the fuck up.
I got it to 112 downhill.
I got it to 114.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go then. See?
I'm trying to get back up to chat and find those other questions that looked interesting. Where was it? Oh, God. Right, hang on. Okay, so this is from Dusty, back a little while ago now.
Yep.
He put, I think this is addressed to all of us in the, all the backers, really. What is your favourite livery from the pack? So,
Ooh.
I'll let Chris go first, seeing as he's driving.
I'm torn between Apple Green, Brunswick, and the Ultramarine. I'm seriously torn between those. Because the Apple Green, for some reason, just fucking works. But I think I'm going to have to stick to my guns and probably say that Ultramarine is what you're going to see mine in a few times.
Andy?
This is a good question. I really like the apple green, but also I quite like the one for FW Hawksworth with the burnished axles and stuff like that. The GWR green.
Race?
The R Express Blue, of course.
Brilliant. Anthony?
I'm gonna have to be kind of the normie, and I'm gonna have to say like the standard BR green.
Yes, yeah.
And my funny kink is that annoyingly I kind of just like this livery Chris is driving, which is the Brunswick green with the lake crest. However, I also have a bit of a soft spot for the Great Western Line green.
Also, let's not forget about it. Great Western Green with British Railways
Egyptian font, yeah. Oh yeah, we've got that as well, the Egyptian font British Railways tender. So full British Railways text, but in the Great Western font, which looks pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, that's my favourite of like the BR livery. Man, it's difficult.
It is very difficult because they all look pretty fucking swish. However, I have noticed a glaring omission. Where's the LMS Crimson?
Right, you are leaving. Get out my house. Never come back.
Right, okay, so let's find another question, because ones that we haven't actually...
Well, the driver diameter, are we planned to be 6'3", wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think there's been a bit of a discrepancy with Chris building it and us planning it.
To be
There
fair,
are
you
a couple of
gotta,
bits too.
you gotta remember, this is Chris's vision. And our vision.
I think
Colliding?
we've kind of like had to collide a bit because Chris has made it act a lot like a Princess Royal. Like it's because of how he's built it, it basically makes sense for it to like because it's
based
fictional.
upon-
Because it's fictional, he has no other like way of going upon apart from what is probably his closest to being, which is a princess and a king. And I think he's basically mashed those together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, remember as well, the reason why we have a month to work with this, guys, is that we are picking this fucker apart.
To be fair, we have like been scrutinising this quite heavily, so
Yeah, and it's not, like, let this be clear, it's not a dig at Chris, it's not anything like that. We're checking over all the nooks and crannies to make sure that this is the best possible way it can be when it gets released to you guys.
and most importantly, and this is the big one that I mentioned earlier on, right? It's fictional, and I can talk from experience from having Chris build me a loco. It's very difficult for Chris to get everything exactly spot on because he's not
Yeah.
working from an official drawing. He's doing
No.
most of it freehand. So
So you can't
This is
really
where
blame
it-
it.
no,
I
I
mean,
mean, the thing is,
basically,
he's trying,
yeah.
man, and he's doing a really good freaking job with the limited source material he's been given.
The thing you gotta remember as well, yeah, like Chris is working with nothing, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's basically what he's done is he's shown me before is he's had king and princess drawings in Blender and he's been basically skipping between the two
Yeah.
to get what he needs. It's a no mean feat, and the reason why it's taken so long to do is like literally because of that. And I mean, Chris has other priorities, but it's been a long time coming because the amount of planning that's needed to go into it
Yeah.
is
Oh
it's
man, it's been mad. It's been mad. 'cause
it's been extremely mad.
Go on, Anthony.
That's been there is like a major advantage to this, of course. Obviously, you all know, like most of you may know, Chris is planning on doing both the King and the Princess Royal for Caledonia Works. Now, I believe the Princess Royal is being done by somebody else who contributed the boiler for the cathedral.
Count
Yep.
Scott.
Count Scott.
Yeah.
But Chris himself, I believe, is doing the King, isn't he? So the
Yeah,
parts
yeah, that's
of
right.
the cathedral that are compatible with a King, that's going to make his job a lot easier when he gets around to that.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, I think Chris is going to be finalising bits on the Princess Royal as well. But that's what we said, which was that this is a good exercise. This is almost like a
Pretty cool.
you know, a good exercise in getting prepared to build the King and the Princess Royal, because it means you can build a lot of parts and things and get the experience in modelling the parts. So in a way, even though we haven't got the King or the Princess yet, this is almost like a what you can expect, I suppose. In a way.
The thing is, I hate to say it because this is literally my baby, right? But this is Chris now. And if you compare this to, let's say, the single that he made, like the fucking...
Million
Cali
years
single,
ago.
and to now, and then think about it, if Chris waits 2 years to make the King, think about how much he's going to improve from this. Like, from this right now that you're seeing right now, with how quickly Chris improves, imagine what the King's going to be. It's going to be mad, and I'm saying that, like, purely. Even though it hurts because this is my baby. That's just facts, it's going to be insane.
It's not perfect, and I'm glad it's not perfect actually, because I know a lot of people go, haha, this engine was perfect, but it isn't. Like I said
No
this,
engine was perfect.
Chris asked me what in real life there aren't any engines that are perfect, and I just turned around immediately and said castle.
Yeah,
But
he's a
of course there are problems with that,
Yeah.
and yeah, no locos are perfect, and I'm glad that it isn't. That's
Well, no,
all.
because it's variety as well. Like, I think it's also builds character for certain locals.
Yeah, and
as well.
why would you want a loco to be a Mary Sue as well? Like, okay, it's great that you've got something that can literally do everything you chuck it at, but where's the fun in that? Like, I've taken I've taken the cathedral up Hemerdon, I've taken the cathedral up and over Stainmore and Shap, and all of the other the
Big hill
banks down in
routes,
Devon.
basically, yeah.
And you know, like some of them it breezed up, like the ones that it was designed to go up. Some of them it had issues with, and I even took it in the rain to give myself a bit more of a
challenge. Yeah, I remember
challenge.
that. Watching
And
that,
I
that was
had
mint.
some wheel slip. I was on 13 coaches, and that's just the kind of stuff you want to do. You don't want to be able to breeze up literally everywhere. Like,
No, it'd be no
what's
fun.
the point?
Yeah,
you know.
This is what I'm saying. Is like I have noticed certain things that I don't like aren't perfect on it. Tom has noticed it. Andy's noticed it.
Mhm.
But it builds character. When I introduce, you'll see him later. When I introduce my cathedral into the series, it ain't gonna be perfect. It's pretty much gonna be the opposite. I'm just,
Oh yeah, because I remember the storyline for this, basically. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's gonna be the opposite of perfect, and you'll see the development from that to later on. It's still never gonna be completely perfect, but you know, it's
Who
it's
is?
a locomotive. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing on Oakridge. Who is? No one is. That's sort of how I look at this locomotive, because this is the closest thing I have to a kid. It's sad.
The funny thing is I think, what was it I said earlier, guys? Was it I said something along the lines of this particular loco as well is almost, in a way, a little bit like the greatest hits of the Great Western.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've got like the classic, you've got like the sort of classic look of a king and a castle. You've got the practicalities that Hawksworth may well have put into it. You've got the the lineage of well of Stania, who of course was a Great Western man, and you've also got the what if of. It's almost like as well the what if of. You had the LMS were allowed to build their Pacifics. The LNER always built Pacifics. The Southern were fucking cheeky and said, "Oh, we've got a mixed traffic design." They went, "This doesn't look like a mixed traffic design. Oh, it is a mixed traffic engine. It can pull trucks. Can it?"
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can. But the Great Western never built a Pacific because, in their eyes, they actually the 460 worked really well for the Great Western anyway because of
Well, it
the
did,
because the tractive force they had, and because obviously 4 cylinders, all the adhesive weight is on the wheels. In reality, they didn't really see the need for a Pacific in the long term. However, we're bucking that trend with this because we wanted to see how it would have looked. Yeah, basically, just like, what if you just went mad? Just go mad, design your Pacific, let's see how the hell it goes. And then we built 20 of them.
And next up, we're building one in real life. Come watch the YouTube channel, Jay.
Yeah, next up, we're opening our crowdfunder, what we're doing, and getting enough money together to buy one of the kings that are preserved in Princess Margaret Rose. We're going to take them both apart, put them back together, mix them up, and make a cathedral.
See what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah. Welding required.
Yeah. If you've got some gorilla,
Civil engineer had kittens and then decided to just fall over.
We'll get some gorilla glue. It'll be fine.
Oh, Gorilla Glue would fix anything.
Why does the crest look wrong?
It doesn't, though.
It doesn't.
If you're
look
talking
wrong.
about the color, it's because of the shader I have on. Next.
So I was going to mention something interesting, which is the backers, because obviously we've trumped up to get this thing into the game and actually pushed in. Chris kindly allowed us to select a couple of names of ourselves to have, which are only available to us backers. So, do we want to go through some of them, or do we want to actually get round to what locos are preserved first and then talk about them?
Tom.
What? Talk. Words. Find them.
I have all the preserved 77C ones down on the bonus thing later.
Oh, okay.
We'll show it later.
Yeah, we'll show it later. Oh, that's the other thing as well. I know it sounds really big-headed of me to say, but we've also decided that this history we've written up, and everything that happens with the cathedral within our little thing, it's all part of the 77C universe, as in the one that includes the Dark Railway, the Dexby Railway, the Island of New Wessex, the Portston Island, Redwick and Chiltern Hills Railway, all of that lot. Oh, on the Penrith Valley as well. All of these railways. Well, no, it's because I don't talk about it all the time because Reese is busy being a BR dad.
Oliver.
Yeah, you're being BR dad now.
What he's trying to say is next time fuck without a condom. Anyways, moving on.
No, we're not saying that. We're not saying that at all.
Wow, that was
that was kind of
left field.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is that this history me and Andy have been working on, and Anthony and Chris and everyone else, it's sort of tailored to what we think and what is going on with our universe. What we're also trying to say is that when these things are released, you are free And I know Andy doesn't like it that much, but you are free to do whatever you like. As in, like, you can make your own history up. You can change. There is ways of changing the numbering system and all that. So don't panic too much about what we're saying.
Yeah, the crest is wrong.
What crest is wrong?
Oh, fuck me.
They're
so
right.
What's wrong?
Shit, we're bad
Yeah.
testers.
Wait, which crest is wrong?
Lake
Look
crest
at
is
it.
wrong. It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
the
the line
line's supposed
inside's
to
the
be.
wrong way round.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be towards the.
Oh,
right
yeah, it's
side.
supposed to be facing backwards. Yes, that's correct. It's supposed to be facing to
Yeah.
the left every time.
Sorry, I thought you meant color, and I was like, no, it ain't. And then, yeah.
I didn't realise what was being talked about then. I can't believe we've missed that. See, this is the competent testing team.
Yes.
Competent back-end testing team, 2021.
As long as we're not the incontinent testing team.
As long as not incontinent, yeah.
Anyway.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So you know, like if people out there want to make up their own fictional histories, or use some of the history that's been written elsewhere, they're free to do so. It's for a bit of fun. You're supposed to, you know, it's an interesting looking logo. Have a bit of fun with it. Don't be bogged down by all the armchairs and whatnot.
Yeah. No, but seriously. Hang on.
Chris is
If
on
you-
train of thought.
If you. There's one thing I was going to
See?
say. It completely fucking slipped my mind. What were we talking about?
I'm talking about how
Right.
we're talking about name numbering and how you
Yeah,
like our
that's it,
fictional
that's it,
history and all
that's
that.
If you don't like the way we've set up the names, as in I know a lot of people say Gloucester Cathedral was the first, then shit like
Can I just say that entire, like, the reason why people think Gloucester Cathedral was first is because of some guy on RM Web who, to be fair, like, you know, was kind of... I will say I took inspiration from his list, but I didn't...
There was never any actual official
use
list
it.
anyway, was there?
No, of course there wasn't. Like, they weren't even, like, brought off, like, the first little drawing board. I'd just like to say that was, you know, that's... Although it was an inspiration, the way I've named them, I thought would be
More appropriate. Makes
more
sense.
appropriate.
Yeah.
So I can explain how the naming works if you want. If people want to know, because I know that people would be disappointed that some of the names that were on his list aren't on this list, or some of the names aren't relevant with certain numbers or stuff like that.
We'll go through it. We'll go through it now.
Can I just
No.
point the thing I wanted to say out, like, first and foremost?
Well, hurry up then. Go on.
The thing I was gonna say is you can change, like, for example, if you want 000 to have Gloucester's nameplate, you can, like, set it that way. It's
But
completely
I will haunt you
interchangeable.
forever.
Yeah, it's interchangeable, but you have to, of course, use the numbers that we have. And holy shit, we're coming up to Banbury. Time to break! Right, go on.
No.
Okay, your funeral.
Right. Okay. So, the idea is I mean, Andy will explain proper as we go, but there were 4 batches essentially built, weren't there, Andy?
Yeah, there were
Or was it 5?
4 batches. No, 4 batches. The
4
fifth
batches.
was our lot. So 4 batches. The first were 8,000 to 8,004, and these were named Westminster, Oxford, Bristol, Exeter, and Plymouth Cathedral. So my idea with that is you start in London and sort of spread out along the main lines of the Great Western, naming them after cathedrals that are along that certain bit of the route. Then you get the second batch, which is 8005 to 8010. They were named Truro, Chester, Hereford, Gloucester, Worcester, and Birmingham Cathedral, respectively, in that order. So it's just sort of other random places on the network, sort of further afield places that wouldn't have, at that point, had the cathedrals running to them. The next batch were number 3 from 8011 to 8015, and they're named after Welsh cathedrals. So the 5 that I chose were Brecon, Llandaff, which is in Cardiff, Newport, Swansea, and St David's Cathedral.
I love that little woo from Reese. Woo.
Big ups to Newport, innit?
In it.
And
Shit.
going
Big
with
ups to East Usk Massive.
And if only Guion was here, he'd start going, "Oh, I think you'll find that Swansea Cathedral was the best cathedral because it had buffers."
And
Anyways.
the last batch, I decided to break from the cathedral naming, and because I thought, being the last sort of big Great Western locos designed and built by the Great Western, they'd want to sort of hark back a bit. So from 8016 to 8018, they're named after old locos of the Great Western. So some of them are broad gauge and standard gauge locos. So you've got Great Britain, Dreadnought, and Lord of the Isles. And the last one, 8019, the final of the
Oh boy.
of the batch is named FW Hawksworth CME because Hawksworth never had a loco named after him, and I thought it was about it would be nice for him to have the final loco named after him and for it to be one of his locos. So that's
because I kind of pushed for that. I also pushed for that.
Yeah, it was a really good idea.
Because it's there was one named after Churchwood, there's one named after Collet, and I think there was an engine named after like Dean and Armstrong, but there was never an engine named after Hawksworth, and I think he was very much left out. So I thought it was a really good idea to have the last one.
Because he was like the shortest, but one of the shortest, doesn't mean that he made quite a big impact on sort of.
What Andy means is he was quite a tall chap. He wasn't actually really short, but he was one of the shortest reigning, wasn't he? Yeah. But it's also the fact that we've, what I've said as well is that I think everyone here will agree with it, that we've kind of adopted FW Hawksworth CME to sort of be the celebrity one. I compare it to being the clan line of the cathedrals.
Yeah, so if you want, I can get onto the
preservation.
Preservation, if you want.
Let's do it. Let's do it because I'm happy with it.
Do it. Okay. I won't go into withdraw because all the basically my withdrawal bit is which ones are withdrawn when. So I'm just going to kind of read it word for word, I think, actually. Of the original 20 members of the cathedral class, 5 survived into preservation. The first was 8015 St David's Cathedral, which was withdrawn in May 1965, at which time she was restored and gifted to the Cardiff National Museum, but stored at Swindon Works and then Bournemouth Railway Centre in Hereford from 1968. When the steam ban was lifted in 1971, and following on from number 6000 King George V steam special, the Cardiff National Museum wanted to capitalise, and number 8015 returned home to Cardiff Canton Depot, which was then used as a base to run steam specials all across Wales. Becoming an ambassador for Wales and something of a national treasure. This is Reese's idea, actually, what's next. Unfortunately, during a move from Hereford to Cardiff, number 8015 struck a low bridge near Caerleon. Is that right? Caerleon? Yeah. And on the southbound leg of the journey, this incident echoed the incident involving number 6000 not long before, resulting in the engine requiring a new chimney, which was salvaged from number 8011 at the nearby Barry scrapyard. 8015 ran through 2 boiler tickets and was finally withdrawn from service in 1987, by which time she was cosmetically restored and, in our little fictional thing, resides at the Cardiff National Museum Cashmore's resides at Cashmore's as a baked bean tin.
Oh, yes.
Top judge.
Anyway, the next one was number 8002. So this is Bristol Cathedral. In this sort of history, it was purchased straight from British Railways for private ownership in July 1965. A bit like Clun Castle, it ran a couple of rail tours before the end of Western Region steam on the 31st of December 1965, which I've put a Bristol Plymouth rail tour on the 28th of December and stuff like that. Running rail tours throughout 1966, 67 and 68, going on sort of private rail tours up to Glasgow, Scarborough and Birkenhead, making her the only privately owned cathedral to run before the end of steam on Western Region and the steam ban of 1968. In 1969, she was withdrawn and had a cosmetic restoration and put on display in Bristol. Having changed hands a number of times and another mainline stint beginning in the 1980s, she finally settled with the new owner, who was allowed to keep and overhaul her at Bristol Bath Road Shed. She was the last thing that left the depot when Great Western Trains left and closed the site in 1995. After an extensive overhaul, which saw her taken back to the frames, she steamed again in 1996 and used Bath Road as a base of operation. We've got a 50th anniversary special rail tour thing. It's all rather complicated, but there was a 50th anniversary special in 1996, and then she's basically been running rail tours ever since, in and out of traffic. Running. Although she's based at St Philip's Marsh now, not Bath Road, because Bath Road was demolished in 2000 and something.
It was demolished yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
King Ari, I noticed is a bit confused. King Ari, which one are you referring to when you asked that question? You're referring to Bristol Cathedral? Because he's asked, like, it had a similar to the MBR Atlantic withdrawn preserved.
North British Atlantics were all scrapped, weren't they?
I'm referring to, like, I don't know if, like, he's confused.
It wasn't scrapped.
Yeah.
I don't know which one we're on about, but
None were scrapped.
I was joking. What do you mean none were scrapped? Kill you. Wait, it had a similar history to the NBR Atlantic, withdrawn, preserved, scrapped. No, whatever. Which one you were on about then?
I know what he's
wasn't
thinking
scrapped.
about. No,
It's because I said something about baked bean tins at Newport.
You accidentally said Cashmore's, like by accident.
Yeah.
Did
No,
not
he
mean
joke.
Cashmore.
He meant Cardiff.
Yeah, he meant Cardiff. Like.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah, because you're talking. This is when you were talking about St David's Cathedral.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, if David Bolton's watching, get fucked.
Ooh,
Because you can't have it because it's fucking preserved.
bruh.
I'm joking. It's fine. I'm only joking. David.
Okay, this
Well,
one is very, very much taken like exactly from a king. Gloucester Cathedral, number 8008, was involved in a shunting accident at Barry Scrapyard,
Oh,
which
yeah.
necessitated the removal of her rear-wheel driving set. I wonder where that's come from. Here she languished until 1972, when she was bought by a group at the Gloucester Warwickshire Railway, where she was slowly slowly restored and converted back to original condition, with the single chimney. The Gloucester Warwickshire Railway purchased the rear driving wheel set from 8011 Brecon Cathedral to facilitate the repairs. Basically, 8008 is the only one in preservation with a single chimney, and we'd like to think she was
Water scoop.
a water scoop.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'd
that's
like to think
exactly
she
what
was
she
a
is.
water scoop. Absolutely.
She's just like a sort of, she's the only one that doesn't go mainline as well.
She's a bit like
out of the
Peninsula and
running.
Oriental SNCO.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
God, we're making lots of comparisons to bloody merchant navies, aren't we?
And Kings.
Because
But-
they're so big. But I like the idea of. I also love Gloucester Cathedral being preserved. It's also one of our own little cheeky favourites because its number is 8008, which,
Boob.
if you write on a calculator, is boob.
Boob.
So she in Boob Cathedral. So
Yeah.
she's the Pamela Anderson of the, especially being a single chimney example. She's literally the supermodel of the cathedral class.
Don't you mean the Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, don't, Chris, no. Oh, no. Now you're making me compare it to a Scarlett Johansson. Fuck's sake.
God.
Right, BRB, boys.
There it is. So, you want the next one?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay, so 8011, although not preserved, we're just going to talk about 8011.
Can I just, I was going to say, Andy, can I just point out that...
Yeah, someone said that 8011.
Yeah, someone's literally just said that 8011 is preserved in their universe.
I'm really sorry, but in
Not in our universe, mate.
8011 was following the removal of her rear-wheel driving set from used for Gloucester Cathedral. She was bought by remember this name, the Hawksworth Preservation Trust, as a spares donor for their cathedral class. Very little of this engine remains, and she is considered by many rail fans to be a lost engine. Her name and number plates were gifted to the real Brecon Cathedral when she was withdrawn, a practice that was carried across most of the class upon their withdrawals. And luckily for you, however, there have been rumours that 8011 could return to the rails in some form in the future, so there you go, there's your...
Great revival.
yeah.
So the arsons happened. The frames are fucking melted.
Basically, what we're saying is Brecon is fucked.
No, Brecon B!
No, Brecon B! My only
Brecon B.
friend! Brecon been deported.
Okay, get on to the two more interesting ones now.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the final two members, John and Jim.
John and Jeff.
Yes. Right. Anyway.
8018 Lord of the Isles was gifted to the
Yeah.
National Collection. It's never run in preservation, however, it spent some time at the beginning in the GWR Museum in Swindon, like the original one that was there before Steam, and then at the NRM and Steam Museum. We've said that she also visited the Didcot Railway Centre in 2016 as part of the Cathedral's 70th anniversary celebrations.
That poor regulator.
But she doesn't steam.
Yeah, she's
she-
alright. Yeah,
She carries
Lord of the
BR
Isles.
late crest.
Yeah, she
which
got
wore
authentic BR paintwork, yeah.
Ugh.
Well, no, you know what I mean? Like, she was repainted by BR. She was never, the paintwork was never changed on Lord of the Isles. And basically the idea is that she's a bit like, I'm trying to think what engine it is.
Billy and Lodestar, because they both had
Yeah.
makeovers when they were
Yeah.
served, and
Yeah.
they've been repainted since.
Yeah, and Lodestar had never run in preservation either. So basically, Lord of the Isles into Lodestar of the Cathedral class. And finally, oh boy, I can't wait for this one because I love this.
So, Tom's favourite, the final member of the class, number AC19, FW Hawksworth, has had the most illustrious career post-withdrawal. Purchased directly from British Railways by the Hawksworth Preservation Trust in an agreement made before her final rail tour in November 1965. The week following her withdrawal saw her cleaned and taken to Didcot behind a Class 35 High-Mech, where the Great Western Society and the Hawksworth Preservation Trust worked together to complete a thorough inspection and restoration. While she'd been cleaned before her final rail tour, like the rest of the class at the time, she was mechanically run down due to systematic policies from the railway management. Her restoration to perfect running condition took 5 years, and when she emerged in 1970, she immediately became a star attraction. 1 year later, she would venture onto the main line, the second locomotive to break the steam ban following King George V. She would meet up with AC15 in Cardiff when rail tours sort of began and ended in Cardiff as they were running on the main line at the same time, which is like the first time that two cathedrals would have been seen on the main line together since 1965. So we're sort of talking like 7 or 8 years after. 5 years into a boiler ticket, the Hawksworth Preservation Trust purchased number 8011 from Woodham Scrapyard and stripped her down to restore her working parts for use on 1819 at the end of her boiler ticket to reduce downtime. The boiler was especially useful as it could be swapped for the original, dramatically reducing the time that locomotive was out of traffic. This has been the methodology for the Hawksworth Preservation Trust, allowing 1819 to become one of the main line's most prominent steam locomotives. She continues to work on the main line to this day, as well as being an exclusive star at many preservation railways. Her only reprieve from UK mainline work came in 1986, when the Canadian Pacific Railway approached the Hawksworth Preservation Trust with the proposition of shipping 1819 over to Canada to take part in the centenary celebrations of their railway. This invitation was accepted, and 1819 was shipped across with a set of its own coaches to Montreal, from where it proceeded to run along the full length of the Canadian Pacific Railway network, stopping at Toronto, Sudbury, Thunder Bay, Regina, Moose Jaw and Calgary before tackling the mountain passes route, stopping at Banff, Lake Louise, and descending via the Yoho spirals. What have I done?
Not what you've done. Nah, fuck it. We'll stick to this. It's fine.
What have I done?
You're going the wrong way.
I might be going the wrong way.
You're an idiot.
Wasn't paying attention. Anyways, yeah, go on.
Can't remember where I was.
You were talking about the Canadian visit of 1819.
Yeah,
Shipped over
this is
with
the first time this has been talked about. From Golden, it made the next run to Revelstoke and Kamloops, Hope and Vancouver. She stayed in Vancouver as an exhibition for 2 weeks before making the journey back through the Rockies. She returned to the UK after being on show in Montreal for a week. The trip was a major success for the Canadian Pacific Railway and the Hawksworth Preservation Trust, and in commemoration, the Hawksworth Preservation Trust were allowed to keep the bell and whistle that she was fitted with while she traversed the Canadian network, which she continues to use on certain occasions, which is why 1819 has a special bell on the front. And
Yes.
we will be getting a whistle to go with it as soon as we can get
You'll see
the
them
whistle sound.
soon. That's something you will be seeing soon at the next destination.
The whole idea is that we wanted because of the sourcing sounds and things. At the moment, all we've got on Hawksworth is the bell, but we're looking into getting a Canadian style whistle fitted. It may be possibly going to end up being a patch, but it'll be worth it, trust me, because our little history with it having a different whistle makes her quite a special member of the class, and that's why I love her so much.
There's a bit more actually about her.
Oh my goodness.
1819 has carried many liveries in preservation, including a mock-up of the GWR unlined green that number 8000 carried when she was outshot. She has also worn BR lined green with Lake Crest, BR Express blue, and more famously GWR lined green, which is the one that she basically
mainly
runs
wears.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of it's not inauthentic because she's
It's not inauthentic. She was built right at the end of
right at the end of the Great
so
Western.
it kind of
So
makes
she
sense
would have,
in a way.
she would have got it, and that's
It's kind of
basically-
fitting that she sort of
Yeah.
likes flying the flag for the old Great Western being their final machine built, like under
Mm.
their auspices, I suppose.
Yeah. In the summer of 2016, number 1819 ran the Bellman British Pullman over the Surrey Hills for 2 weeks whilst Clan Line was out for overhaul between boiler tickets, becoming one of the many locomotives that deputised for the Merchant Navy, which included Tornado and others. 1819 has travelled far and wide as part of her mainline rail tour calendar, having traced the same steps as lost members of the class, going to Liverpool Lime Street, Glasgow Queen Street, and she's made history by traversing the Settle and Carlisle route, and was the first of her class to run over the ECML out of King's Cross since the exchange trials. She basically just run all over the Great Western network that she can. Cornish Riviera Express to Penzance, the Cornishman from Penzance to Birmingham
Oh,
via
we better
Bristol.
talk about that, ain't we?
And she's in this, she's deputised for tyres the engines on the Shakespeare Express as well, because why not? There you go. That's
That's the
apart from
abridged
the-
history.
Yeah, an abridged history. There's there was some things I missed out because I'd like to have my
Yeah,
history
we-
video
yeah.
for you
There'd like
guys.
there to be a reason for everyone to go and watch the history video that Andy's going to produce.
Yeah, so whoever Ian R. Thomas guy is, I kind of did it purposely actually to not have number 8000. It's because I thought that it would be a good idea not a good idea, but to sort of have the leader of the class scrapped kind of gives you a bit more of a feel of.
And also, she was the oldest member.
Yeah, I guess like by that point she would have been pretty
No,
run down.
I'm going to say it reminds me of oh god, what class was it? Oh, poop. But there was a class where the class. Oh, that's it. The when the National Collection was a thing and the all that happened. Instead of preserving Britannia, it was chosen to select Oliver Cromwell
Oliver
because it was in better
Cromwell.
condition.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the idea we got here, except that no private individual stepped in to purchase Westminster when it was scrapped.
Yeah.
But in fairness,
Sorry, Tom. With the National Collection as well, when it comes to certain members of the class, they don't always necessarily go for the first. If there's one that has like a significant achievement,
Yeah.
they'll go for that one. So obviously, with that case, you have engines like Mallard, Evening Star,
John.
what else? Oliver Cromwell, because it was the 15 Guinea engine.
Yep. There's I suppose it's all about how well I mean what's the other one? Caerphilly Castle.
No,
Lodestar.
she's the first member of the class.
Yeah. She was National Collection, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lodestar isn't the first of the star
No,
class,
but she's
preserved.
she's just a star class, and it was pretty rare to have a star class around at the time that they were.
Being
Yeah.
preservation, yeah. Funny. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, Lord of the Isles being preserved. I'm trying to figure out the special reason for her. Maybe it's just because she was the best condition, I think.
The record break.
It's because she's the record
Oh, yeah,
breaker
record
in our
breaker.
history.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, that's right. And probably good condition, too.
I will just say this.
No.
Someone asked, will the Cathedral appear in any of your series? Yes.
We're
I
getting
did pay
to that.
for this fucker.
We are getting to that. That is partly a reason why all of us, including Reese as well. This is why apart from obviously wanting to see this class represented in the game,
Yeah.
we have already all got plans about how we're going to fit these things into the 77C history and how we're going to fit into our series. So, without further ado, because we start with it, Andy, you can do the explanatories on what is going next.
Okay, so I won't do like the like.
Don't do the full.
I
Don't do the full
question.
spoilers.
What?
Well,
I actually have a question here. Do we want to save it for when we have them in front of us later on, or are we doing it now?
Up to you
Do
guys.
it now, and we can go over it a bit later.
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Well, I'll give that. I'll do the names, and then we can go over the lore a bit more later if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we've got the numbers from 8020 to 8029 or 8028 actually.
28, yeah.
hang on, wait 1 second. Emilio, the designer slash builder was it was Hawksworth. Like we put it down to Hawksworth, but it would have been people like Samuel L. and the draftsman in the thing that would have actually designed it properly. Please. Basically, yeah, it would just for simplicity's sake, Hawksworth.
Yeah.
I'm going to start at the beginning of the batch. So 80-20.
Well,
no.
Give a quick meta reason explanation. Basically, the backers of the project have each got their own sort of custom name and variant, which makes up the sort of batch of 10 that follows the official batch. These ones aren't going to be released publicly. They are exclusives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else is getting access to these. Sorry, not sorry. Fuck
In
off.
the fictional, in the world of what is released to the public, the pack will contain 8,000 to 8,019 with all their nameplates, because that is in the history of what we wanted for the cathedrals anyway, and how it possibly would have gone down. They only needed 20 of them. However, in 77C, and because of the backers, we basically said, we're going to have our own custom nameplates, and Chris was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool beans, and he asked me if he could lick my feet. But
To be fair, he did the other day actually.
he did actually. Yeah, I showed him a picture of an infected hair on my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed him a picture of my foot, and he goes, "That's hot." But anyway, yeah. So without further ado, these are the fictional batch that are available to the people who backed and contributed to the project in the main. So go on, Andy.
for me, I've got Alfriston Cathedral, which obviously named after, those of you that know what I do, named after the cathedral in the main city on my island, so Alfriston Cathedral, funnily enough. And then there's Bexford Cathedral, which is one for Ben Booth, as in Dexby.
Number 8021.
8021 is that one. That one's named after one of his route.
hang on.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Ben, if you're watching this, you little stanky cunt, if you want to come up, you can come up.
And 22, I kind of want to give the floor to Chris, actually. Or Anthony, one of the two.
Give it to Anthony.
Okay, so there's actually an interesting story behind in this. It was Chris's idea. So my variant, custom variant, I wanted one named Manchester Cathedral because Manchester boy here. Hello. Originally, my number was going to be somewhere on the lower half of the in the lower half of the batch. I think it was 8027. I think at first.
Yeah, we're good.
But Chris came up with another idea. So, for those of you who obviously are aware of the Manchester Arena bombing a few years ago, obviously that disaster tragically killed 22 people. So Chris had the idea of moving my engine, Manchester Cathedral, to 8022 as a sort of little memorial to those, sort of just as an honor to honor those 22 victims.
Yeah.
And Chris is awesome for making that connection, and I will love it.
It was a really, really good.
But my whole thing
good
was,
spot.
I've been thinking about it because I saw something like this. People are gonna call me a fucking weeb for this, but I watched a group of YouTubers in the UK called the Sidemen, and they had a shirt that had Manchester 22 on it during one of their football games because one of their fans got killed in the explosion. And I was watching that, and I was looking at our list, and it was just the perfect opportunity for it. So I grabbed it because at the end of the day, those people should always be remembered because that was an unjust action that took them away from the world, and they had lives ahead of them. So that's a way to remember them forever. In my head, anyways. It's just a way of keeping the memory alive, if you will. Yeah.
Of course, I will admit kind of undermine it a little bit, considering of the batch of fictional ones, I specifically had it scripted that 8022 did not survive into preservation. It was broken up in the 60s and had its name and number plates donated to the real Manchester Cathedral, kind of like Bracken and the other members of the class, as described in Bracken's history.
Yeah. But that's not a bad thing. Like, it's...
Huh.
There's also another twisted note. Well, not a twisted note. A twist to this note, which is that earlier on in the history, we said that a couple of the locos, the cathedrals, were put on rotation on the West Coast main line, whilst after the accident at Harrow Wealdstone, while Duke of Gloucester had been built. Now, within the 77C canon, we've said that number 8022 was semi-permanently loaned to the Midland region to run the West Coast main line whilst waiting for Duke of Gloucester.
And also part because the story I've gone with this is that some of the people who had been involved with the cathedral on the exchange trials wanted to kind of take those experiments further and wanted to like get a better way of assessing how a cathedral performed against the Princess Royals. And so they took an interest in this particular engine, and that's why they wanted it running on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it also gained its name, Manchester Cathedral.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm a complete simp in my area. Chris made a memorial, and then we threw it all in the bin.
Nah, no. I say the plate and numbers
It's the
still
story.
exist. And
It's the
font.
story that's that.
I like
it's the
it.
Story that it's the story that matters. So who?
Yeah.
What number next?
Well, 8023, which is
God.
Technically, it's mine. Now, here's the
Okay.
thing. There's just, before I take the floor completely and absolutely shit and smear it all over the place.
Hmm.
Okay, never mind. I thought Ben was the one that jumped, but it's Guion, unfortunately. So, never mind. I'll take the floor. Sorry, Ben.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
Merp.
8023. Heavy spoilers for season 2, by the way.
Well.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
have
go.
to spoil
I'm not
the
gonna go
rain
heavy into it.
season.
But let's just say that a certain bastard is trying to gain some revenue in favor, so he makes a train that goes directly to London, but the only way he can keep the schedule is with a double header, and so he needs to find a
What's
new
this, the Midland
suitable-
region?
Shut up. He needs to find a new and suitable alternative to keep the costs down, lest he faces the train being fucking yeeted out of the roster. And that's where 8023 comes into the picture, Redwick Cathedral, because Redwick Chiltern Hills. But not all goes to plan, and that's all I'll say.
It turns out it's actually powered by nuclear reactors,
Yeah.
and the boiler tubes are actually uranium-235.
Yeah, and someone just said,
God's
by the
sake.
way, I would like to point out the first episode of RTR was released around a year ago. Yeah, year and 3 months. I know. I'm working episode 6. I'm sorry.
Someone noticed 8019 in the other platform. Huzzah!
Yeah,
The best one.
that's the
best
that's the
one.
next one. But I think it's time I give the floor, before we start going, to the angry man so that he stops being angry and can tell the story of what he has planned for his, because I'm interested
He's
to
not
hear.
that angry.
He's only a little bit angry.
Alright, Reese, it's up to you, man.
Stop, you're up, boy.
Hi.
You're up.
Hero, I'm really sorry.
So, Reese, you want to talk about number 8024, what its name is and its history a bit?
Yeah. So
Well,
basically, my logo is 8024 Blindberris Cathedral. The story of this one is going to be involved in the Over the Hills universe. It's named after the cathedral located in the town of Blindberris. So, upon the engine's withdrawal, it was gifted. First of all, gifted to the town. However, they didn't really have anywhere to put it. So it was taken on by Butlins, who have a holiday camp in the town of Llandiadog. So essentially, they take the logo and put it on display next to Princess Royal. So those are the two logos there. But in 1967, following the wake of the Aberfan disaster in the valleys, the town of Llandiadog suffers an economic downturn because of the loss of Pennyog Colliery. It's closed down, and the two engines are then basically stored on the preserved railway pending sale. So that's their story.
There you go.
There you go.
I quite like that story actually, like in a way.
It's kind of interesting because it parallels a bit of real life where Billy Butlins did actually purchase some locomotives from BR and
I think the most famously as one of the kings. Well, I don't know. For me, that's the one that I remember the most.
Yeah, he bought one of the Kings.
Did he also have Maggie Rose as well?
He's had a fair few, but he sold them on. But this is like ones that weren't, were sort of earmarked for him and then never happened.
Cool.
Because they wanted too much money, I think.
Yeah.
That's actually an interesting point, though, because there's actually something about one of the base cathedrals with that type of story.
It was where is it? I have it written here somewhere. 8007. 8007, yeah. Do you want to read it?
7?
It's your history, Andy. You can read it.
Okay, well, so 8007 was the second member of the class to be withdrawn, although the first of like the main lot, because the first one was 8005, which was written off in a crash in 1959.
And you'll never guess what his name was?
Jeff.
Yes. No, it wasn't.
In April 1965, 8007 was withdrawn and was overhauled for purchase by Billy Butlin, or Billy Butlins. Although this purchase sort of got stalled and then eventually died out, which became apparent as 8007 like basically sat at Swindon Works in the out of use sidings, having been fully cosmetically restored. And eventually, in December of the same year, it was cut up by the guys at Swindon because the purchase fell through.
No, bastard. No, not that bastard. They're just doing their job.
Which is it is kind of sad, but
It is, yeah. I mean, it's like that's happened a couple of times with other locos. I remember hearing about one of the warships was a gate guardian at Swindon.
Yep.
And that was, people thought that was going to be preserved, but no, it was just ripped up.
I mentioned as well that Butlins wanted but couldn't get. Obviously, another one is Silver Link, the A.
yes,
Hmm.
I swear they were doing it on purpose, like trying to outprice him so he wouldn't.
Wouldn't buy him, yeah.
Or they were just greedy because they thought they could get.
I just find it a bit odd though that the things that they were willing to sell to him were large LMS Express engines and small Southern tank engines.
Says a lot.
Says a lot.
Anyway, we've gone completely off topic. So,
Well, I wouldn't say it's off topic. It's still on topic. You can drive now, Chris, if you want.
which was the
Let's
next one?
entertain the audience.
Which was the one that followed 8024, by the way?
8025.
Is that yours or?
That's mine.
Which is Tom's.
We'll go into that as soon as we start moving because Tom has a big
Oh,
nose.
mate. Look at that boy.
Look, yeah, let's have a look at Hawksworth.
So let's look at Hawksworth.
She-
So what separates this from the GWR standard version we have? Well,
It's pretty
first of all,
fucking obvious, Chris. It's got a massive bell
You
end.
might not notice, but it's got a huge bell head that I would like to suck on.
Which is actually it's modelled on the
One that King George
same
has,
bell
isn't it?
that King George V has.
Yeah.
And I think Chris made that by eye, by the way.
That's
Yeah.
I think he's going to reuse that for the actual king then.
Yeah, I
More
More
expect.
than likely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is a child object, is it?
I don't think so, no, because it's exclusive to this one. We might have to look at the file.
I think it's stuck onto it permanently.
Oh, yeah, because the lamp iron's been moved, hasn't it? Look. The lamp iron's further forward, isn't it?
And one more thing.
Unless it's like that on the other ones.
It might be. Another thing I will just say is like someone say I might have missed the answer to this, but did any of the cathedrals have any major modifications or minor ones? Well, the minor ones would be the double chimney.
Well, that's pretty major, because they had to have the entire drafting system sorted out.
Major
Oh,
modifications.
are we on about? I was about to type in chat about that answer actually, but yeah,
Yeah.
double chimney and the extra superheating row.
Basically, every single member of the class ended up with a double chimney after 1954.
Actually, no, it would have been more than 4. I think Hawksworth was sort of dabbling with sort of 6-row superheating.
Yeah.
And but prior to that, the thing is as well, we said Gloucester Cathedral has a single chimney in Prez. That's because she was retrofitted with it in Prez.
Yes.
Like King
Right,
Edward II, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
King Ori again. Chris did it. by
I
the
think
way.
it's the loco's just fucking huge. I think that's half the
It's
problem.
just because the engine's so big, yeah.
And yeah, so another difference is the burnished like
Axle
axle cover
centers.
thing. Like we were originally gonna have burnished tires, but Chris said no, pain in the ass. So we just went okay. Well, I think he said he couldn't do it. So
Well, I'm gonna have a go at some point, I think.
go for it.
But you know, it's nice. It looks
very
nice.
It's subtle.
It makes it
subtle.
look a bit special.
It's subtle and I like it. And I also think it's the front of the fucking front cylinders as well as got the treatment, which I really like.
Mhm.
Also, for anyone that notices and asks, this is a TS glitch, the front of the fucking pipe. Nothing Chris can do about it. Just so we're in the clear here.
It's not entirely true.
Like-
He is going back over it.
Yeah, he is.
He
Yeah.
can
I thought you said he
get that to not happen. But
There's
yeah.
nothing we can do about it. Chris Ramberson, April 2021. Remember that, everyone.
2 seconds
That's the other
later.
thing.
Also,
Yeah.
Domine dico nos vitre et industria, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is our celebrity, F.W. Hawksworth, CME.
Yep.
Who
She
will
is
not be
the
taken
one.
out today because we are going to be driving the county class. No, I'm joking. Fuck off, Ramsey.
No, we're not.
We're taking
I will.
you.
I will murder
Um,
every single thing about you.
It's kind of interesting that we've settled upon Hawksworth because in what I have planned regarding my one, Hawksworth actually plays a part in it.
Yeah.
So,
Go
in the
ahead.
sequencing, my one is the final one of the what I would call the 77C canon batch, as in the last one built of the lot that are going to be featuring in series is. So number 8025 is Woolchurch Cathedral, named after Woolchurch Cathedral on the Dark Railway, which is my series. And basically, Chris has left without his coaches, is what's happened. So we're doing Thomas and the coaches again. So yeah, my engine was built basically. I'm not going to give too much of the way of spoiling, but basically a load of parts were built, and this locomotive was actually essentially a set of frames in the boiler because it was built. All the parts were built for it, but it was never put together. So basically, what happens is in my universe is at some point in the future, F.W. Hawksworth herself, the locomotive, visits my railway. We're very impressed with it, and we go, "Oh, we need one of these. It's a very good hill climber. We've got lots of hills. It's a big express engine. It'll do really well on our line." We ask around all the press societies about borrowing one. No. They ask about if they can buy one. No. So we get pretty bitter, and on our final visit to the place where these frames are kept, we actually end up buying the frames of the locomotive and all the parts associated with it, and we build it in-house. And we end up with 8025 Woolchurch Cathedral. So I'm not going to give you any more in the way of that, but essentially just look out for that if you watch. But in our little mini universe thing, that is the final one built. However, there are three or four more numbers? There's three more numbers, isn't there?
We have...
Goes up to 28 because I don't think 29 exists because
No.
Chris
So-
didn't do it.
No, Chris did it. Let me explain what happened there, because I already know. 2 of them didn't get included in the pack we got, and I think that's Guion's and Chris's.
No, Grill's is there.
Oh, I can't get to it. But anyways, yeah.
Charles David Weller is there.
Okay, cool. Well, that's there as well. Well, that's Guion's. I think that's 28. Is Guion's?
Yeah. No.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, 27, I think it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
there we go.
Anyways, it's one of them. So yeah.
So you got
27.
8026.
But 26, which is Highland Cathedral,
Yeah.
for which is Oliver's, another one of the
Mr.
backers
Oliver Pocock, yeah.
who paid in.
And you've also seen, but from the thumbnail on this video and Andy trailer, Oliver actually designed the initial artwork for the project. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
really good.
Which is pretty good.
He did a really, really good job.
So yeah, that's Oliver's choice. 8027 is
Charles David
Charles
Weller. Do
David
you want a
Weller.
bit of a story behind that,
Yeah,
Guion?
go on then.
Yeah, go on, Will.
You'll be wondering who the hell is Charles David Weller? Well, Charles David Weller is the name of my great-grandfather who worked on the railways. And I'll do a little story on my great-grandfather, and I'll go a bit more into the naming. But first things first, it wasn't originally called Charles David Weller, was it now?
No, it was not. No.
It was
It's a pain in our
originally going to be
ass.
called Sir Humphrey Davy.
So Dumfries Havey, my favourite.
Inventor of the Davy lamp, and an ancestor of mine. And I later decided that it was just not. It didn't really have as much interest in that as really my great grandfather who worked for the Great Western, and as it turns out, so did his father, Charles David Weller. Didn't realize this until I started looking up some of the family history on Ancestry, that my great-great-grandfather was also called Charles David Weller. So he worked as a shed master in Reading, if I recall correctly. And then my great-grandfather, his records show that he worked in a tin metal foundry, I think it was. But later on, he worked on the railways. I think it was mostly like P-way track maintenance. And I don't know when it happened, but it did happen on the railway. He did a lot of like, rail cutting, things like that. And there was an accident which the cutting blade shattered, and it cut almost clean through his leg. It was held on by a strand, basically, and he did keep his leg. It's the one thing I quite remember quite vividly about him, is that he had a plate installed, which meant that he had to have special orthopedic shoes, I think is the correct name.
Orthopedic, yeah.
So one sole was thicker than the other, to correct for the difference in leg lengths after the accident. But unfortunately, I need to speak to my grandmother, see if I can get some more information on him, because Ancestry didn't really come up trumps there.
Nearly legless Nick.
But yeah, he passed away in. He was born in 1914, and he passed away in 2003. He did, so it was, just 11 years old when he passed away. But yeah, I had fond memories of him. My sister was very young, so she didn't get much of memories of him, but me and my brother did. We both had portraits painted. Not portraits. He painted landscapes. It was his hobby, and he did landscapes of this. He did a painting for me and my brother of what looks like a large prairie tank going across a bridge on the Severn Valley Railway. It looks like. I think that's what you kind of identified it as Tom, isn't it?
What?
Looked like it. Yeah, I remember
the painting of that he did, the large prairie going across a
bridge, and it was a Victoria Bridge.
It looked like Victoria Bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was basically his story. He used to come around every Friday, and we'd have fish and chips with it, and watch Robot Wars.
Oh,
I love that, right? Because Gwyn's actually got, like, again, it's another one of those that have got a really nice story behind it. Like, I really like the fact that he's honoured his grandfather by, is it great-grandfather, sorry, Gwyn?
That's my great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, by having a loco, like, even though it's a fictional loco, he got a loco named after his great-grandfather now.
Yeah.
I think, that's a really nice, a nice
it's
thing
a nice
to do.
thing. Well, it's a bit like, as you lot might know as well, I mean, one of my characters in my show is named after my granddad. Yeah, Raymond's named after my granddad. So it's nice when things do that, isn't it? It's sort of like it keeps the memory alive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What, you didn't know that? What, you didn't know Raymond was named after my granddad?
No, my grandfather who passed away a few years ago is also named Raymond as well.
Oh my!
What coinkydink?
What a quinky-dink, yeah.
Now, before we move on,
can I just interject? Can I just interject very quickly?
Just one, I nearly saw you derail earlier on because you went over some really fun points. And secondly, where the hell are you going?
Chris, this is
all over the place.
He is literally. Me and Andy have literally been sat here. We're not rude enough to interrupt like anybody, but we've just been watching Chris driving like an absolute what the fuck.
I'm so confused. Chris,
I have the funniest feeling that that's not the prescribed passenger route. I like that.
I'm pretty sure.
Can I pin
gone
that?
the wrong way.
Oh, I can't pin it. God damn! Someone pin that fucking comment. That's brilliant. I can't.
No
Chris,
message.
pin it.
You can't pin it because it's
Message pin.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
I love that. That is a pin message. That is
I love that.
Oh, we
That's
should have put.
fucking
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Man, I'm sorry.
Why are we? Why?
Okay, so let me explain. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
You know earlier when Glenn said do the Vire thing.
Yeah.
You know when you said, I'll be fine.
No, Andy, look. It's gonna be fine. No, seriously.
I do actually. Yes, I've just remembered that. Glenn was like, "Now, Chris, make sure that you do the go via instruction, otherwise you're going to go all over the place." Chris went, "No, it'll be fine. I've done the run already. It's all right." And
I ended up going to Oxford, and I ended up fucking.
That makes you right the most. Automatically, we have already decided and declared that Chris is the most incompetent driver of the team. Okay.
Technically, can I just point this out? Technically, I'm not an incompetent driver. I'm an incompetent signal.
You're an incompetent human, Chris.
You're an incompetent user of the game, which is called Train Simulator.
Which in itself is an incompetent game, so you've done a really good one there.
There
It's always
we
like a
go.
complete 180.
Okay.
Are you back on the main now?
I'm going back on the main, alright?
It's a good job, because if you carried on going left, you'd end up in, I think, Woodstock.
Yeah, don't
So,
worry, we're not
good
going to
luck.
that. We're not going to that shit.
Andy, I think the term you're searching for is east, not left. East.
No, that's west, actually. It's
I
west.
don't know which direction we're going, so I'm just going to say east.
Am I genuinely the only one though for like when Chris moved the camera that it was about to derail because the points were against?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh shit.
What? Oh, no. Right, Chris,
Oh,
can you hurry up,
no.
please? Otherwise, we're going to end up being here until I, die of old age.
Well, why don't I
we
just
might-
go to Banbury then?
Yeah.
No, just keep going. Come
No,
on,
no,
hurry up.
listen. I'll go to Banbury and then
No,
I'll
no,
go
no,
to
no, no. You
Shut
can have
the
a lap
fuck
whether you
up.
like it or not.
Why don't you just stop at the next station, go and load up Redwick so we can have a look at our cathedrals?
Jesus Christ, okay.
Jesus, God. I mean, you've been driving like a granny for the last 5 minutes. We're supposed to be showing off how powerful and fast this thing is, and you're
I
just going,
like running slow! I'm sorry!
What,
I thought
on the
this was
main line?
cathedral,
Yes!
not the James.
It's not the, I thought this was a cathedral,
James.
right? Not a 1366 pannier tank.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Damn. Sorry, Gwen. I forgot this one.
Okay. You want me to be honest? I can't get this thing to go faster. I was trying earlier, alright? Gee.
Chris, have you tried not being an incompetent driver and fireman? Have you tried that?
Oh my god, you're a genius.
I mean, I tried it.
He
like,
solved
like,
it.
And then I failed.
You're so well
What's that,
done.
Anthony?
I tried that the first time I tried driving the cathedral and I failed.
Look at that face. It's literally making me want to vomit. Look at him up in there in the corner. Honestly.
That is a face that screams, I'm gonna kill every single last one of you.
Brilliant. I think he should. It'd be funny.
Oh look, it's so charming with his middle finger.
Great, he's got to get through the COVID restrictions. Oh, wait, no, we're out of that now, aren't we, more or less? Until we go back in again, and then out, and then in, out, and shake it all about.
I was just about to in,
out, shake it all about. Do the hokey cokey, and you turn around.
Yeah, I can't get it to go much faster. Mostly because I haven't opened up the, dampers.
Have you got... Well, I'm going to say, 1, have you got the dampers open? 2, have you got the fire mask correct? 3, have you got...
You're just competent.
Are you competent? 4, have you actually set your path? And 5, why didn't you put some go-veers, you fucking plank?
And 6, I'm gonna kill myself after this!
Hey!
Oh.
But
Finally,
first I'm gonna rim job the fuck out of Reese.
Oh.
Why'd you...
Wait, Reese, do you not feel disturbed by this?
Yeah, I'd be very concerned.
He's
Doesn't follow through with it.
I know, Matt. He
You
keeps
just
banging
avoid
you up.
You did say you wanted to see that face you shared behind you. Right?
Oh,
I hate
no.
it. I hate it. I hate it. Don't like it anymore. Want to go home?
Hey, so cathedral with Indian red frames.
No.
We never mentioned the final cathedral.
Yeah, we didn't.
No.
Since he's not here, I'll basically do it for him. So the last one is Callum's.
Callum Hancock, my ad.
Yeah, Callum Hancock. 8028 Floydian Cathedral, which is a double whammy because, as you know, Callum's YouTube surname is Grey the Floydian Circle, and it's a reference to Pink Floyd as well because Callum loves them for some reason.
For some reason.
That
basically just
mean,
that just sums it up.
Hey, I like Pink Floyd.
I like Orange
One I've
Floyd.
never actually heard one.
I might have, I don't know.
I will be the first to say that as much as it's Callum's choice, I wish he'd have gone for a real cathedral or at least a real sounding one. But it's his choice. He wanted it, so Freudian Cathedral is the
I'm
last one.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Stranraer Cathedral sounds fucking cool.
Cathedral.
Notre
I have a
Dame.
speech impediment, you cunt.
He's also Norwegian, Andy. Bear in mind.
No, there isn't an 8-wheel tender for this.
I think there should be a 15-wheel tender for it. That's right. I said 15. Just one missing on one side for no reason.
To be fair, we were gonna have a call attendant with it, but Reese absolutely refused to have it.
Oh, did he? Did he?
He didn't want one near this thing.
Even more when you had a whole attendance.
Everyone scream. I literally threw my toys out the pram.
And still didn't get it.
Nobody wanted a Colette tender.
Hey,
I was prepared to like
I
destroy.
wanted a product tender. I thought it would have been cool for variety, but we're getting on with the king anyway, so we can mix and match.
You arseholes! Literally everybody
Wow.
voted against it.
No, Reese, we all said, but why don't we just wait until the shut up? Why don't we just wait until the king, and then we can combine it then?
No.
God, I can literally, Reese. Would you like some pepper with that salt coming out of your mouth, man?
I'm going to be salty for the next 16 years.
To be
You're
fair,
going to be salty for the next 2 years and not talk to us for 2 years now.
That's it. The clock starts now.
he's gonna make a new best friend. Anyways, so what I was gonna say is Reese is more salty right now than when we get like top 5 in PUBG.
I know.
But anyway, I wanted to throw something out there. So I know we've been talking a lot, and but from watching what we've been doing, watching Chris's incompetent driving. What do you guys think of the cathedral? Then, what do you think of the look? What do you think of some of the things we talked about? We're throwing it out there to you guys.
No one likes it.
Fucking.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yes.
I've already had one comment on my thing asking why there's no safety valve bonnet.
Have you told them
might.
the safety valves are in the firebox where they should be?
Have you told
on
them to just
particular
fuck off?
design?
I can't be bothered. I'm not in the mood.
In the firebox, though. Do you mean they're actually inside the firebox burning up?
Yeah,
with-
the safety
hang on.
valve bonnet
Let's
is
go
just in
check.
there. Yeah, it's just
Let's go
metal in
check.
there.
Okay,
God,
so
here
you
we
go
go.
here. You go here.
They're in there with Logan.
Oh fuck! There's a problem, guys. The baffle plate. It won't go up on the fire.
Oh my god.
That's not a problem. That's a good thing.
This is unrealistic
Please,
as fuck.
please
boys.
leave me alone.
Anyways, let's actually look inside here.
So
No,
I'm
we're
actually because people keep saying like interpretations. I'd like to like point out. I don't know if it was said earlier on in the stream.
I think what you're going to say, you have said it. Yeah.
Basically, I said to Chris, like,
Oh,
yeah,
Andy,
Chris Wilson. What?
I just wanted to point out as well. What we based it on. Not only is it based on that drawing, OS knock.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, okay,
Yeah.
so in the same article that people are quoting names and numbers from on RMWeb, there is a drawing which, as far as I know, is accurate to. Well, it is the drawing that someone has in the National Collection somewhere. That was like the preliminary design for this Super Pacific that was proposed and talked about. And basically what we have here in Train Sim is a representation of that, which didn't include a safety valve bonnet because
Fuck you.
Design didn't call for it. Design didn't have it. So.
If you look at the drawing, it doesn't have that fucking bonnet.
and as much as it says that, like, okay, so there's two sort of arguments in the book that I've read about whether it was here or whether it was going to be a thing or not. Basically, it without being like, you know, it was basically a stillborn project. Like, they were told to, like, you know, start work on it preliminary, and then like literally sort of the next time that I remember the name of the guy, I think it was Mattingly, basically came back and said stop work on it. But all of the ideas that they had for this, like, you know, maybe Pacific, ended up on the county. So the 280 psi boiler, the smaller driving wheels, all that kind of stuff. Like, there was sort of little bits of what could have been on the cathedral in the county. And myself, I'd like to think that maybe if things had gone a different way, the counties were like a test bed for these ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I've just passed through Pontypool Road on my new in. I've just taken some epic screenshots, which we may be able to use for advertising. But anyway,
we're going to collect loads of screenshots, aren't we, for promo material and whatnot? Yeah.
But the other thing is, this is based off an artist illustration in the book that I've got, which is it's the Stars, Castles, and Kings book. This is almost exactly, I think, apart from the size of the driving wheels, a representation of what is in that illustration, which, again, doesn't have a safety valve bonnet and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, it was about time they got rid of the safety valve bonnet and sorted it out, you know.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, we look at this as sort of like, I mean, I see this, Loco, as kind of like best of old Swindon practice with, you know, some modifications here and there. I think if Hawksworth had actually been given the go-ahead and had a reason to build it more so than just building, like, more castles or whatnot, I think there would have been differences, such as an overall splasher, like on the county. Because I agree with Andy.
Yeah.
The county was basically, it has been discussed that it would be essentially a test bed, possibly, for possible ideas to use on the a proposed Pacific, which would have included possibly like the plate frame bogey at the front, one cast cylinders, straight splasher, maybe even a little bit of internal steam passage correction, higher superheat, obviously.
Yeah.
But that is essentially why this engine looks the way it does. It's one of many different sort of idea interpretations, but this is the one we went with because it's one that's actually been, has some sort of, what would you say, some sort of grounding in realism in the way that it was.
I mean, a lot of people are just going to keep complaining that the safety valve bonnet isn't there, and if that's
if they don't like it, then
it's fine. Okay, like so. Yes, okay, it would be nice. It's a Great Western Loco to have a safety valve bonnet. Yeah, okay,
and it does have a certain appeal,
through and through. I'm Western through and through, and okay, that like the whole idea is you have a copper capped chimney and the safety valve bonnet. That is literally how a Great Western. A lot of people define it by that. But I'd like to think that by the late 1940s, there'd be a bit more kind of experimentation, especially with Hawksworth being in charge.
And after the war as well, Andy.
And after the war, looking for new ways of being sort of more efficient and different designs and taking on board a bit more because, well, Hawksworth was one of those people that just sort of experimented anyway. Like under his sort of management, you had the outside motion panniers and all that kind of stuff. Like a lot of stuff that happened under him was a lot different to what had come before. And I think change is good. And I'd like to think that we sort of have represented the change that maybe could have happened.
Yeah.
There was one thing I wanted to point out as well very quickly, which is something that King Orange said, and I think Andy will help me back this up on this one, which is, right, people keep saying that the quote-unquote cathedral was supposed to be a 480. That is incorrect. Basically, the 480 version that people keep quoting was something that Churchwood was looking at when he was designing a night owl, as a super night owl. Basically, that was designed in the night. That was concepted, I guess, spitballed in the 1920s.
Yeah.
It was never a Hawksworth idea.
For me, the cathedral has always been a Pacific.
The only exception to that, Andy, is that the Kings originally were going to be called cathedrals, but because King George V went over to America, the first member, they named it, so just changed it. Yeah.
But in this context, the Super Pacific of the late Great Western era has always been a cathedral to me, I think.
Yeah, and me. Every time we've talked of a cathedral before, I think we've talked about it years and years and years ago as well.
I remember you doing a Photoshop of a princess into
Great Western livery, yeah.
Great Western livery, and it was obviously a Pacific back then. But I remember that must have been going on sort of 9-10 years ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a long time ago.
It was actually a Pacific, and it always just has been for me.
I just find it funny how, I've seen the design for a 480 version, and it does look interesting, but...
It would be named is my thing. I don't know whether they would actually have name.
Well, they were basically stretched night owls, weren't they? So...
Yeah, and although the night owls were going to be given names, they didn't because they were freight locos or more... so maybe those locomotives would have ended up with the names that night owls didn't have if they were going to be used on express trains and stuff like that. I don't know, because what do you use a 480 on?
Well,
My
I mean, in fairness, like the LNER had good use for express passenger 8-coupled locos, but they built them for the wrong part of the bloody route. I always argue that the P2s, they were allegedly, like, you know, the whole point of them was to work the steeply graded and very curvy Aberdeen to Inverness line or whatnot, or Perth to Inverness, blah, 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 like North Scotland lines or whatever, the main lines. But they had such a tendency to sort of overhang on the curves and everything. Just makes me think they'd have been better off on the straight bits of the East Coast main line, modify them to be bloody 482s maybe. They'd have been bloody excellent. Speaking of 482s. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do my bit. Don't worry. Today's about the cathedrals, not about big.
Bollocks.
Thanks, Will.
Okay.
Bless you as well, by the way. But Chris, are you gonna ever get to the end of this bloody run so we can go to your bloody route?
I'm literally
Bloody hell.
trying my hardest to get this thing to go.
Just stop at the next station.
Fine.
Why would you stop at Fritwell and so he's almost at Banbury. Come on.
Nope. We're
Is
stopping
he
here.
though? Is he
What?
though?
No, don't stop. Oh my god.
Just
We're
stop at that
stopping
level
here.
crossing.
It's like that bit in No Mr. Porter where he's like, oh, the express doesn't stop here. Yes, it does today, and all that kind of shit.
My load is wider.
Oh, okay.
So, due
It's
to
like
Tom
time.
being a fucking impatient cunt, ladies and gentlemen, we're
I
stopping
know, it's-
right here.
I'm not. It's
We are
just...
stopping FW Hawksworth right here.
In the middle of nowhere.
Come on, guys, agree with me. It's been taking forever to get this done. What's
Oh,
the
Marshall
coaches?
becomes a mountain in other stories.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Chris, you're so salty.
this has been the first leg of the journey.
Who's salty?
Chris.
Now, please,
He is a bit.
instead of looking at my ugly mug again and having to fucking deal with...
I mean, you could just turn your camera off, man.
No, fuck you.
I've been hoping to do that all evening.
I've been waiting for it as well. I'm feeling a bit sick already. You love me really, Chris. Look at him getting so freaking cross. Look at him. Aww. Aww.
He's so cute when he's angry.
I know, right? Oh, we'll have to get Clara to sort him out. What? There you go. There's the face change.
He's trying not to laugh.
He's trying not to laugh. He's so bless him. He's so hard trying not to deal to him.
Fuck! Okay. This is the shit you guys are up to. Alright, so you guys
Well,
look
I'm sorry.
at this, which is
Mhm.
yikes. That's fucking fucked. Anyways, let's scale that down.
Chris, what the hell are you doing? Oh my god.
What are you doing? What is wrong
Chris
with
is
you?
a professional live streamer.
There we go.
I'm glad we let
There's
Chris
this thing
go
called
first.
transitioning studio mode in OBS you can use.
Yeah.
Potato.
Chris, he's such a fucking moron.
Like, literally, I'm so glad we let Chris go first because it basically gives us all a benchmark on how to improve on what we do for this.
Hey, my first stream's going to be a fucking, like, amazing thing compared to this.
Mate, I'm going to be choreographed.
Claps. God.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be launching Parasect and Tom can take over the fucking stream because apparently I'm not good enough. Goodbye.
Excellent. Right, finally, it's taken him 2 hours.
It's taken him 2 hours. Wait, what, Nick?
Wow.
Ow. Ow.
Deaf to Andy, apparently.
Ow.
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 Well, there we go. That was fun.
I'm not done yet, you twat.
Oh, mate, I really enjoyed that stream. It was really good.
I
Chris.
really enjoyed it.
Everyone say bye.
Next week on Cathedral Month,
Did he just...
I think he just rage
fucking
quit.
raged.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry, I had to scream.
We heard.
Your neighbours must hate you.
Yeah. But anyway, next week on the Cathedral Month, we've got Reese
I'm
coming
not
up
done
with...
yet!
Burp.
Twats.
Hang on 1 second. I've got to bring... Where the fuck is he?
I thought you were going to say...
Oh, Ian, you're going to bring Ian up?
No. He's fucked
Okay.
off. Like, that was like 10 minutes ago.
Ian's fucked.
Chris has finally gone back. Finally.
Just so you guys know, I wrecked outside of Abergavenny.
It's
did you
alright.
do this?
It's alright.
Hey,
I love that.
Hey,
We say that, and he launches himself into watch. I'm not going to let him in now. Nah, denied.
Oh, there you go. Right, what the... Right. Oh, he's
He's
muted.
muted a deafened.
But what's the point?
Oh.
Right, come on.
I hate all of you.
Anyway, welcome to the conversation, Ian. Would you like to...
Really
Welcome to
badly.
the jungle.
real quick, wait, Tom. Before Ian says anything stupid like he always does, someone has asked. Serious question: are we expecting these to be in public sale? And if we are, is there any set date? March 1st, around that time-ish.
March 1st has already been. May 1st.
May 1st.
Sorry.
Mayday.
Sorry.
Mayday.
May
Going there.
1st, and yes, they will be public, like fully public.
The idea is that the backers and the beta, like some of the beta testers who are doing the proper beta test, we have a month to do the beta testing, do our content, get it ready, blah blah blah, marketing machine, etc. etc. And then on the first, yes, D machine. Wait.
Fuck's sake, can we just focus?
Yes, I'm trying to focus, but you're not distracting me anyway. Yeah, so 1st of May, roughly, around then, is when the cathedral will be available to the public. And actually, I have already got the Caledonia Works promotion video ready for that. So we're good to go. Me and Andy have just got, and Reese as well, and Anthony, and everyone else. We've all just got to crack on and get our content sorted out before the end of the month.
Yes.
So there you go. That's the big answer. Anyway, Chris, have you
next to the
have you
loser.
have you finished loading up the thing yet? And has Ian got what he wants to say ready?
It's not fully loaded. No, I'm still in the loading screen because Redwood and
Alright, Ian, you're up.
Massive. So Ian. you go.
Okay, I'm up. Okay.
It's loaded. Anyway, no, joking.
No, well, fuck me. No. I'll
Right,
sit back in my
right.
chair now.
No, go
Okay.
on.
Right. I will just say one thing, Ian. If you've literally come up here to start spouting about Dreadnought, please fucking don't.
Oof.
I was gonna be fucking nice. Come on now.
Well, off you go then. What do you
Right,
want?
what, 1 second, go on.
what you want? No.
Alright, go on.
You got 2 seconds or I mute you.
1, 2.
Please. Just
Can we
get,
let the
unmute
kid,
him just so I can hear what he's gonna say, so I
let,
can
let the kid talk.
kick him.
Alright, go on.
Okay. So, the cathedral. I am proud of all of you for this.
Oh.
Oh,
What
Like
about-
of how you've completely sat down for like the past, let's see,
6
the
months.
last 6 fucking months, and you have churned out so much history that ties into real history kind of with different engines. How some of the names hark back to the Great Western, and with current-ish events going with Manchester Cathedral, which, when I was hearing Anthony talk about that, I about fucking cried because the feels. It gave me the feel. Don't call me a bitch. Fuck you.
Very easily emotional.
Yes.
I can be an emotional boy. Anyway, like the amount of work that has been put into the cathedral, like I never would have seen the day that we would have a Great Western Pacific, other than the Great Bear, obviously, but
Yeah.
because I remember when I first heard about the cathedral from the first AWP race.
Hey,
From
shout out.
20 From so fucking long ago. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't.
You remembered, Reese. You immortalised, mate.
I remembered.
Yeah, you remembered, Reese.
Oh no, I'm getting Coco flashbacks now. No, don't remind me of that film. It's so sad.
Go on, Ian.
No! Oh no!
Anyway,
Yeah,
But-
Ian is proud.
Just hearing about, just hearing the name Cathedral after so long, and I'm like, they're building what for Train Sim?
oh, I have to point out something as well, very quick, which is yeah, I'm sorry because Ian's here and it's funny.
Here comes double framed panniers.
Everybody was bugging us about what the quote unquote secret GWR project was, and I led everybody down a rabbit hole that was going to be a set of outside framed pannier tanks. Because Ian and Austin kept bugging me about it. They're the first two I led down the rabbit hole, and they both believed me.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
is
you
brilliant.
just, I'm sorry, Ian, but we do have to talk about how like fucking invested you were into figuring out what this thing was.
Yeah, man, it was funny. It was very good. Very good.
Bullshit. It's who was out of the corners.
Can I just point out? You guys remember that really old fucking meme, like fucking obsessed girlfriend or whatever the fuck? That's Ian when it came to figuring out what the fuck the secret project was. That fucking face.
But I do have to say, we did do a very good job. Oh, bye, Ian.
He said his PC is now gone.
Did you kick him?
No one touched him.
Oh, rip.
There he
He's
is.
back.
What did you do, Ian?
I disconnected.
You're a plank.
Felt sad.
Oh.
Before we continue further down the road,
Shit.
this
Oh, I can't remember what I'm going to say now. It's gone.
Rip.
Oh, that's what I'm going to say. I think we all did a pretty good job, actually, the backers and the contributors at the beginning, to keep it secret for so long, actually. Well done, us.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Us.
Chris, share with the class.
Are you really gonna dig this up right now?
Chris, share with the class.
Riley knew before the fucking thing because I accidentally sent the wrong cat image in our private DMs. But Riley did well keeping shut.
Chris, right? I hate to say this, right? But
He's a massive plank.
you're a fucking cabbage.
Basically, what happened is I accidentally, I was on my phone and I clicked the meme at the same time as I clicked on the cat image, and it sent, and Riley went ballistic, and I was like, no, shush, don't say anything, don't say anything.
He just put a non-disclosure agreement on his face.
So what we've done here is
Fined
that
him
we've
for
had,
millions
yeah,
of pounds. It would
yeah,
have been
we've
great.
had, right. So Chris, what you have to do now is you've been completely rescinded from the project since you let rip.
Oh yeah, I'll
So
see.
he's just liable for the full fee of the cost of the project now.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh mate, does that mean we get a refund? Fucking amazing.
Sounds like it.
I could buy myself a new car door.
So anyways, now
Hell
the
yeah.
root's loaded. Hey guys, look, it's fucking people around the fucking turntable.
Oh,
We can't see it because your stupid
yeah, you
thing's
still
still there.
stream
Move
as
the
going out,
picture.
you
What do you
idiot.
mean?
Your picture's still
Oh, there we go. That's better.
So, guys, what logo are we commissioning next?
What would you like to commission?
we're doing we're doing Bert.
No, we're not doing
Fuck
that.
yeah. I
Yeah.
will, Bert.
I
Give
will
me that
commission
shit.
Bert. I will commission Bert just so Joel is happy and he leave me alone and stop going on about our Lord and Savior Bert.
Anyways,
What would you like to commit? Like, that's a quick
There we go.
thing.
Yeah,
That we
we'll
could,
do that.
what would you like to commission next if we had the? Because
Money
obviously,
and time and Chris had the time.
yeah,
What Anthony said?
someone said something or tried to say something.
I said Night Owl.
Oh well, that's already something that's possibly I'm not going to confirm, but
That is
Maybe.
a story for another day.
Well, to be fair, it is because
How about
it's public.
It-
list.
oh,
I'm going to say it's on the list, isn't it?
080813?
Ooh,
Wow.
interesting
hey
choice.
guys.
We could chuck a lot of
Why?
money at that.
Chris, we're not interested in you now. We're talking about something else. Let the big boy talk, okay?
Or an 0808
Hang on.
What?
Chris,
Yeah.
why
Why's my
Why's your
screen
screen gone
black?
black?
why's green black?
Yeah, why's my
Oh.
screen black? I was about to say something about that, but I got shut down.
That's all right. The big
Game
boys are
crash.
talking now. Shut up.
Christ.
I don't want to.
I'm going to guess his game has crashed.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I just thought, you know the Super Kings. Remember the big fucking chonk boilered
Yeah,
kings?
yeah. I know what you mean.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ooh.
Someone enlighten me.
Ooh.
It was a king with a fat boiler, like a
Let's see if I
PH
can
fat
find
boiler,
it.
Ian.
Hang on.
Oh, by the way, I would say, if we're talking about it, should we bring up
King
Riley?
Boy already. Never mind.
No.
What?
I'm not gonna go into this.
Would it not have been a king with like a night owl boiler?
No, because that's the number. So the
7.
night owl boiler is the same as the castle boiler.
Castle.
Okay.
Basically, the Night Owl is a standard number 7 before it was cool. That is what me and Andy have determined.
What about you then, Anthony? If you could commission a logo, what would you have?
The problem is, like, everything I would say is already being done.
Oh, there you go then.
There you go, Anthony. Anthony's got no imagination. Anyway.
Oh,
Oh.
The 9200 class.
Screw it, we're commissioning the green. Devil.
yeah, the, night,
Yeah,
the
that'll do.
massive, the green.
Green Gel Rocket, let's do it.
The
Half
massive.
your
Was it the
pod,
28? Was that a 210 or 210-2 tank or something? Reese?
It was basically 7200 on steroids.
Oh, what's going on? Okay, carry on. Whoever was
We do one
talking.
at a
Sorry.
time things. Yeah.
Sorry.
Talking about what? Sorry.
I don't know what. I don't know what we're talking about now.
I think Andy was talking to Reese about the 210-2 monster tanks, and Anthony was trying to say about the Greendale rocket, which I think would be an excellent addition. Gwion, Gwion, when are you putting Ivor in?
Ladies and gentlemen, Guion does his own sounds.
Yeah.
Why don't we get Chris to do that? Cool. Never mind.
Right, Rasmussen, what would you commission?
Why don't we get Chris to do the taffy?
Oh, mate.
The what?
Taffy.
Taffy tank.
Yeah, they were saying-
What, a 5600?
Yeah,
Or
which
the
one?
Taff Vale ones.
The Taff Vale tanks, the Taff Taffs, the Taff, the Taff,
yeah.
the
The
Tuffs.
actual real proper Welsh Taff tank.
I love how Chris hasn't got a single idea what he wants commissioned here.
Yes.
Right, there you go. And to round it off, I can't really answer this question because I've already got my commission.
Well, what
But if I
else
could-
would you?
but if
commission?
if I could have another one, I would have would love to see Bullied's mountain class.
What about the
Ooh.
Q1 Pacific? Have you seen
Or the,
that
yeah, the
model?
Q1 Pacific actually. Yeah, no,
Mate,
change my mind. That
it's so hilarious.
I
Oh,
love
man.
that. No,
No,
yes.
no.
Oh, yeah. Leader,
Oh, no.
leader.
Here comes Tom's boner.
I want the leader FPS so much.
Why? So that we
Here
can
it
put it in the
comes.
scrapyard and delete
The
it.
leader,
It's not-
leader.
It's literally just so I could just say like puff it like 3 foot down the line and then it should fucking like all the sleeve valves seize up. That's all I want to do. That's
Mate.
it. I just want to
Mate.
make all the sleeve valves seize up and then not be able to fill it with water because the water columns are too short.
It's time for the Q1 Pacific. I'm sorry.
I'd love to see that. In all seriousness, if we could collectively do this again, because it was a really good thing, and I want to actually, before we go any further, because we haven't said it yet, I actually want to thank. I'm going to do it for everybody, but I'm sure they'll all chip in. I want to personally thank Chris Wilson of Caledonia Works, for actually putting up with our bullshit and doing this, because
Been a good
he's,
sport.
he's an
He's
actual
been a very
fucking
good
legend.
sport.
Guillaume's been pretty good as well, but
Decent.
we don't want to inflate his head that much bigger. But Chris has been like so. He's been pretty good with this. He hasn't really like. It's something. It's a little bit out of his wheelhouse. He was a bit out of his wheelhouse doing my commission, and he's a very busy man and he works really hard. But for actually letting us do this and actually agreeing to do this for us and with us and part of it, I do want to thank him a lot.
Ah.
Yeah. What
Well, I guess I'm the only one with that. accolade then.
No.
I completely agree. It's just I figured out why my game crashed.
Is it because you're an idiot?
Yeah. I was literally gonna say that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna remove the waiting screen here, and I'll let you guys figure out what's happened.
Well, we're waiting.
Oh, the tender's all fucked. Okay.
Oh, you're
As soon
an
as you try to click
idiot.
on it, it would crash the game because
Yep,
yeah,
because you're an
water
idiot.
scoop. I love it. Micro rant right now. Train sim. What the fuck were you thinking of doing when you had the function call, which is get water level, tender water level, and add water to tender? That if the tender is not in the consist, it crashes the game.
Hey Chris, where's all of our locos then, boy?
Redwick.
Oh,
This is red. Oh no, it's not. It's Manifest, wasn't it?
Yep.
this is a man fell into the water
River in
in the
Lego-
turntable in
Lego
Lego
City.
City.
So-
Which is that?
This is
8020 Alfredton.
Oh hell yeah.
so simply because Redwick is kind of out of commission on this side of the line.
Which is amazing.
Sounds
Sounds a bit like Chris all over then, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
We're
Excellent.
taking Alfredston. To be fair, I did rush this because I had like 5 minutes to do this when I was setting it up.
You're also trying to make food in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, another fun little tidbit for people who know about him, because I don't really want to talk too much about him, but did you know that the cathedral, right, by a slight tiny margin, is actually longer than DR1202, as in my mountain class. Like, my mountain class is huge. The Cathedral, with the roof line, because the roof line sweeps back a bit further, technically speaking, is longer than my mountain class, which is ridiculous.
Which is great. I love it.
It's actually kind of hilarious.
Can we turn?
That it is.
Yes,
And
we
yet,
can.
and yet, the Cathedral, because of its shorter tender, will fit on a turntable, and I'm like, oh.
Is it longer than the Raven A2? It must be if
I
it's
think
longer
it's
than Rick.
the Raven A2 is about. I think it's slightly longer than Rick. I think that in length overall, it must be a little bit longer than Rick.
Crust first.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry for having to mention.
Don't
No, it's
Like
fine.
Chuff.
No, it works.
No one cares if you do or not. The big boys are talking. The big boys are talking. Shut the fuck up.
Although, in fairness, though, I think I will say one thing, which is that actually I think there is some sort of credence about this, which is that because I commissioned Rick, DR1202, kind of opened up the idea for us to do this as well. Because I was the one who actually said to you, Andy, wasn't I? I said, like, I can vouch for Chris's work.
Yeah.
And he actually pulled it out the park, because with mine, it took about a year to make from start to finish, because mine was completely freelance. But with the Cathedral, it's only taken Chris, what, 7-ish months from
7
initial
months,
planning?
yeah.
And that's by
Yeah.
working weekends and things. So, you know, it's a monumental achievement, and I'd like to think that in a way I've helped quite a bit,
I would
even though I
say
don't feel
more
very
than just
useful
a
with the
bit,
Cathedral.
you fucking. What's it
Yeah,
called?
Tom, you did put a lot of money towards it.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually
We all
want to
did,
know,
yeah.
have you ever actually mentioned the story of how this like whole thing started?
Once upon a time, in a
Okay,
land far, far away,
I'll put it simply, right? It's as simple as this. We
my God,
were
Chris, get on with
talking-
it, Jesus.
We were talking in Discord and mentioned, it'd be fun to make the Cathedral, and Chris was like, I'll do it, and we were like, shit.
It was on one of Tom's live streams, from what I remember.
I can't remember which
Well,
one.
we mentioned
but-
it on
And
the live
we were
stream.
talking about the cathedral and the king and all that kind of stuff. And we were like, oh, maybe one day. And I remember Chris said he'd be up for making the king and all that kind of stuff. And then he sort of kind of hinted that he'd actually be up for making the cathedral as well. And I was a bit like, oh, that's weird. But yeah.
And then Andy got a massive boner, and then
Yep.
we all put money towards it.
We all helped out. We helped out a bro.
Fair, I will. We'll
Yeah, you carry on.
I think the credit for actually getting the funding together goes to you, Andy, Chris, Tom, Reese, and Oliver. The rest of us were just kind of hanging around in the background. Oh, and Guion contributed like £1 to the project.
Oh, you did.
In fairness, though,
£3.
in fairness, I will point out in Guion's defence, this is using locomotion, and I think for imparting it, Guion, you waived the fees for locomotion licensing on this, didn't you?
Lies.
No.
No,
Oh, you
what he
didn't?
did is he paid the money to cover the fees.
Oh yes, he paid
on
the cover the
PayPal.
fees of it. Yes, that's correct.
That's
Can I
what
also
it
point
is.
out? Yeah, that was Chris.
No.
Chris.
What did you contribute then, Guion?
What?
Yeah,
What did you
Guion.
actually contribute?
He
What
helped.
Yeah,
did I
Guion.
contribute?
Apart from
did
your
you
Guigo.
contribute?
Development support, maybe?
Cool. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, I'd like to bring this up as well. Can I point out that Chris anonymously gave 100 of the fucking? I won't go into specifics, but he gave $100 into this project, with a message saying, just to show that I'm not doing it for the money, but because I genuinely care about the community. And we were all just like ranting and exploding. I'm like, you motherfucker, you weren't supposed to do
I
that.
remember that.
Oh yeah, because we were like, dude, we're literally trying to pay you, and he's like, oh, you know, you guys are my friends, you're doing, you know, helping out and all that.
100
But-
in it. I'm like, what?
It's literally like he's handing himself a $100 bill.
Yeah, basically. He's basically just giving himself a discount. I also wanted to point something out, because I know there were going to be some people out there maybe a little bit salty about not being able to help out. Our worry was that if we put this out as a crowdfunder of some sort, people would, like, it's happened, Reese has had it happen, like me and you, we both had it where we've asked something, people have said yes to something, and then they just don't follow through, do they, Reese? Mainly with things like merchandise.
Basically, yeah.
So we decided not to go down that route because, as well, depending on the amount of people who would have jumped into it, we could have possibly looking at like every backer having a name, and it would have just been so much work for Chris, and it would have been so many people. What's the phrase? Too many cooks boil the broth. It was nicer to have a smaller team of people working on the all the documentation, the actual design work, all that lot. And people financially backing it. We all agreed that we wanted to do it, and we all agreed that we wanted to see this thing done. And we've all agreed that we wanted to help in any way, shape, or form that we could, in any little way. So, I'd like to think that we when this actually comes out and people see it for themselves, I'm hoping that people will go, oh, you know what, this is a fun little loco to drive. Well, not little, it's fucking stonks. It's a fun loco to drive. It's a fun what if. It's a fun scenario to have a what if this loco was built. And it's the first, as I said earlier on, commercially available. I think it's the first commercially available freelance what if locomotive in TS. I know someone mentioned 9351, but that's a rebuild of another engine, so that doesn't count. But yeah, I think it's. I hope you lot all like it when it comes out, to be honest, because we've worked quite hard, and we're working quite hard getting all this promotional material and promotional live stream sorted out before the big day. So yeah, that's my bit. I hope you guys help me, please.
Tom, finish that. Justin's having me the couple up from the coaches.
I mean, you've literally been crawling towards the coaches.
Yeah, I was trying to show that. Let's just roll it back slowly as Tom is going into detail and talking deeply, and then as soon as you stop. All right.
I was more looking at it, Chris, as if it was one of those Sam Train videos where he's trying to see how slowly it can crawl. Has it only got a 3-pole motor? Has it got CCC sound chip?
It's got a 1-pole motor, Tom.
I can tell you something though, everyone. It was not El Cheapo, okay? It was not El Cheapo.
El Cheapo.
Yeah, here comes Leon. Knew that was coming.
We're charging everyone the low price of $59.99 for a copy of this loco. Haha.
I'm gonna cry.
No, you're not.
Yes,
you're gonna pay it. You're gonna pay it, Ian, because no, he won't. Ian's got to pay Chris Wilson with back rubs.
No.
Why me? Hold on.
Feet rubs.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me, Ian, your time is up. We're going to have to get rid of you now. Goodbye.
Did you just eat him?
Say goodbye to the jolly pleasant fellows of YouTube.
I'm joking.
Or don't then, whatever.
I was joking, Matt. Oh, all right, fine. Bye, Ian. See you later.
Cries in American.
Cries in American.
Anyway, that's Ian gone. Rip.
Ripe.
That's fine. I was
going to say something I've forgotten.
Flanders Cathedral.
What about Flanders Cathedral? 1948 exchange trial loco for the southern region.
Yeah, it's a cathedral.
It's a train. Did you guys know, right? Did you guys know this is a train? Like, I was shocked when I found out.
Fuck.
It's actually a train.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
You're being asked if you're going to go faster than 60.
I'm going to try.
So what we're going to have to do now, Andy, is I'll just fucking floor it down Upway Bank and get up to about 80. You'll floor it over the bank, so on the Stovall Valley itself.
We'll see how fast I can get it on the return journey with my helper.
Reese is going to, go 420 Blaze at St. Michael all the way down to Abergavenny. Not Abergavenny. What's the name of the bloody terminus of the line? You got Landiadog and Penny.
Blanberis.
Blanberis, that's it.
Huh. Gee, I wonder where I've heard that one before. Tom, can you figure it out?
Jesus. All right, fucking dipshit. You're the one who can't drive this thing. Shut up.
I'm learning.
You're not.
Anyways, look at the apple green on this thing. How well it fucking works.
Is it Granny Smith livery?
Yes.
I can't help but notice as well that you're driving an early BR livery. With Great Western Chocolate Cream coaches.
Could have been worse, Tom. I was about to drive with the early crest on this. But because the tender didn't match up, I had to take the opposite.
I mean, it could have been worse. You could have been driving with, say, I don't know, Liverpool and Manchester coaches. Or NWRs.
Okay, we're stopping the train. I'm going back. I'm picking up some other coaches.
No, you're not.
Actually, you know, our commissions earlier, I changed my mind. If we could actually go back and commission like a thing, I'd actually commission like a Rainhill Trials pack.
Yeah, man.
That, or I'd get really cheeky and ask for a Manchester ship canal tank.
Oh, and if we could go back and build like have one old timey loco, you know what's coming? Wilberforce. I'd love to have that weird old thing.
This is
in the game.
Wilberforce.
This is the Wilberforce.
This is Wilberforce.
Hold on. Hey!
Anyway, how's everyone enjoying Chris's incompetent driving? Looks good, done it? Very good.
I mean, to be fair, I'm hitting 70.
Are you though?
You're joking. You managed to get up to 70.
You dick.
I'm being genuine.
My name just wants a canal simulator. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is one somewhere. Like, is it just me?
What, a canal simulator? Yeah, because my dad's tasked me with making like a backdated like area around Wantage, and I need to do that.
I thought you meant like canal simulator, as in literally like
Anal simulator.
Anal
yes,
capital
yes,
simulator.
canal and anal are very
Yeah,
much.
well, yeah, you just take away the sea and you've got anal.
I'm going to use that at some point because that's
Oh,
quite
for
good.
fuck's sake.
What, you're going to use anal?
What, you're going to use anal?
No, take away the sea.
Hey, this
And
is
you
a
have
more
anal.
kids race.
You could make a sailor joke about it.
Well, hello, sailor.
Oh, we could make another sailor joke, Reese, about the Suez Canal and a certain big ship, couldn't we?
The ever given fuck.
You ever give...
The ever given fuck.
I bet you guys have been fucking laughing your heads off about that.
You need to
No,
get
we've
shoe
had
backwards.
training courses as a result of it, so no.
Don't go sideways.
Pretty much.
How?
Don't try to
No
turn
back.
around in a fucking canal.
Right, no deja vu drifting on the canal, okay?
Oh my word. What you do?
Don't do an Austin Powers in a canal.
Oh
Basically.
yeah, oh I know that
257.10.
reference, Will.
Alright, I
remember
will
that
just say
reference.
as well, since Ethan is in the call, or in the chat, there you go, Ethan. Use one of your headboards. Shut the fuck up about it.
Bruh.
A jet surf.
Chris, what are you doing?
Why are we being? What? Why is
Oh, right,
hilariously
right, right.
slow and incompetent?
Sorry, I forgot to change the points up here. My bad. Let's see. Will let me
you
change the
are-
points?
Oh, you are so incompetent.
It's hilariously slow and incompetent.
Yeah, I think they're just talking about Chris. Don't worry.
Oh.
Chris,
To
you
be
might.
fair, it's not that. I don't want to say it because people are probably going to be like, "Oh no, it's a Pacific, it's gonna go fast." It's not that fast.
Gotta go
They're not-
fast.
It's
Gotta go
more
fast.
about power for the. We've already said this. It's more about power for the inclines.
It's,
Power for the.
They're not race
it's-
horses.
it's-
They're
it's
hill
a
climbers.
marathon runner, not a sprinter.
Super
No,
sprint
sprint-
class 158.
Yes, Reese, I was just about to say that. Stop, get out of my head.
Excuse
No,
me. Do you
it's
want
warm
to
here.
not with what I drive? It's
It's
warm.
actually a fucking 166
Well,
turbo.
yeah,
Did you
yeah.
know that?
Can you stop naming things that I drive, please?
Oh, have a HST, Andy. Oh wait. Oh.
The Volkswagen Polo.
Tom,
What?
we don't want to get out of your head because there's so much fucking room in here, okay?
Oh, wait. Okay, right. Okay, so it's not free real estate.
It could be.
It could be. Not with that attitude.
I'm gonna have to BRB because I'm gonna go for a smoke. I've
No, you're
not
not.
been for one for nearly 2.5 hours, and I need a wee. So
You're welcome for me distracting you.
yeah, thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, because
You're
I've
gonna-
been doing all the heavy lifting, because I've been doing all the bloody
It's
explaining.
because you're fat. You need to work out.
Oh god.
He's
Anyway,
gonna BRB Brienne's Rotom Barn.
I'm going to go get
Please
some
stop.
anal cavity stuff. Anyway, BRB.
Canal cavity.
Take the sailor out the sea and you have anal.
Fuck.
I gotta use that one.
And here's Bruce saying chunk. Yes, indeed, Bruce. Fucking chunk. Well, that killed the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the signalman of the evening. You got it, Knuckles.
My
Oh,
bum.
you got it.
Wait. Do you know the way?
Hello, my brother.
Hello, my brother.
I hate that so much, Chris. I hope you know.
Wilson or this one?
Which one do you think?
Both.
I mean, they're both responsible for what just happened.
Fair enough.
Point made, shooting up.
Shut the. I will cancel it. I will cancel it and delete them.
Love you.
Well, you're going to cancel the cathedral?
Yeah, sure. On Twitter. What?
What do you want, Andy?
Nothing. I want to cancel you on Twitter. That's what I want to do.
You want to cancel me on Twitter?
Yeah.
Me who doesn't use Twitter that much.
Yeah.
Cathedral, where are you?
Up your ass and round the corner.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. What's the game lagging? Andy, fix my game.
No, fix your own game.
There it is. Fucking yum. To be fair, Andy, I could just derail. It's offers the Cathedral after all. I won't be missed.
I hate you.
Andy.
Right. Shwee! I will murder everything you love.
Joke's on you, I love nothing. Except Clara.
Oh.
Shit! Stay away from her!
Okay.
The thing I will say though is like I feel like it's missing a twinge of power. It's missing a twinge of power because it feels like when I hit a hill, it just loses the will to live.
Just
I'm pulling
everything.
7 coaches right now. I don't think it just like have this much of an issue up the hills.
You're being very What the oh, that's me. Sorry. I just had a.
Shut the fuck up, Ben. This is a question for you, Andy.
Mm-hmm. What?
Well, if you look at the chat.
Don't wanna.
But you're the expert on this sort of shit.
What sort of shit?
Okay, Western logos?
I'm nowhere near an expert, but
Somebody's asking, was King George V always kept clean or did it get quite dirty? I'm guessing it got quite dirty because British Rail didn't know how to look after their engines.
yeah, we'll go with dirty. Like, it did get some sort of like special. It was just another loco at the end of the day.
Well, good news. When you get a chance, Chris, look at the screenshot channel on Discord. Cool.
I've seen it. He did 114 in the cathedral tender first.
Uh-huh. Thanks,
Downhill.
man. Thanks, man.
Crust first.
Would any of them have been featured in like a transfer film or documentary? Probably, but you know. It would be
Okay. Anybody asked? Who asked that?
like,
I'd love to do so the British transport film, the Elizabethan. I'd love to do something really, really similar to that in a way for the cathedrals. But also, yeah, there probably would have been a lot of like documentaries about its time in Canada, which would be kind of cool if I could do something like that. Like, you know, like a documentary style video about its time in Canada.
Do it as like one of those 1940s videos with the guy narrating, or like
Yeah.
with the really high pitched voice.
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
as we talk here, you will see this engine indeed is an arsehole.
Talking about you again, Chris.
I'm afraid I am going to have to disappear.
That is completely
That's all
fine,
right, man.
Liz. I appreciate you a lot for joining us, and everyone in the chat say bye to him.
Yeah, thanks
everybody.
for
Thanks for
being
popping
here.
in.
It's good to speak
That's
to
all
you.
for now. Go away.
Go away.
Go away, everybody. All right, thanks. Bye, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
take care, man. Bye.
Man, what a fucking ass nut.
Oof.
He's just gonna be in the stream. I heard that.
Mhm.
Everyone's saying bye. Bye. Alright, so let's go to the industrial estate, shall we? Let's pick up some wagons and take a freight.
I'm leaving.
Water around here for you to jump into, Andy.
Pardon?
Water around here for you to jump into.
Hell yeah, well, I can't get to it. Quick. Chris, do my job for me.
Hang on, I'll fix it.
Do it for me. Chris, fucking do it for me right now.
Working on it. Where is it? Why can't I move? Oh, there it goes. See some water?
I'm a couple of seconds behind you, so. Like a railway roundabout segment of the cathedrals. Like if you got to like a. The only big shed they were based at that's in game is Plymouth. Or well, Newton Abbot as well, I guess. Like there'd be sort of stuff, but it's not. It'd mostly be Lara
Guys,
that you could do like a segment of. Hello.
every single time, right,
Mhm.
I timed that cigarette incredibly poorly because I didn't get to say goodbye to my buddy Vince.
Bruh. So, Elissadon, the cathedrals I said were actually they actually lasted all the way up until the end of Steam on the Great Western, like Western region anyway. My thinking is they'd be a lot more useful to BR as like big express. Like, even though yes, okay, they're steam engines. Like at that point, I think the Western region's thinking would have been a little bit different to what it was in our like real life, where they were like, you know, really wanting to get rid of steam, like, and be the first to do it. I think like
They
on the
would have
Top
had
Link
some
Expresses,
pride.
they still would have had a bit of pride in what they built at the end of the Great Western. So like that, and because they were young locos, they'd have been quite happily thrashed into the ground, I think.
I think the other thing as well is that there might have been maybe a little bit of bias from the Western Region crews as well to keep at least some of them, including Hawks, like FW Hawksworth itself, in operation as long as they can. That's why they gave. Was it Hawksworth and Lord of the Isles that did a double header or something?
Yeah, right at the
Yeah.
end.
Right at the end.
There was like a double heading
Hello,
like rail tour,
Hello. Oh God! Look at that thing. Oh fuck.
but yeah, it would be kind of cool to do something like that, and I think I will end up doing stuff like that. I mean, I've got a video in the plans already, which is like a little sort of like, it's just a sort of dramatic video, but I'd love to do like a Elizabethan style one.
Yeah, man. I'd like to sort of, if I can help out in any way, I want to start to see if we can get some sort of like maybe some historical videos done, like maybe a British transport film perhaps, or as you say, something similar to the Elizabethan, like the Bristolian or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a railway roundabout style segment, perhaps something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and Andy have already been talking a bit, and I'm sure the other guys will want to help if they can. We've been talking about the possibility of doing like a proper history video. We want to do some proper. I mean, to be honest, I'm thinking about building some scenarios to go with this at some point as well, because I'd like to see a bit more of that sort of thing done. I'd like to see this thing, especially with the amount of time and money we've put into this with helping. I'd like to see a lot of use out of this.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to. I'm also hoping that people enjoy it, just for the simple reasoning of it's a bit fun. A lot of work has gone into something, and I'd like people to appreciate that and enjoy it. Basically, just I see a lot of. I mean, like, I'm not going to mention names or like groups or Facebook, whatever, blah blah blah. But there's a lot of negativity surrounding this game and what's in it and what people do, and I'd just like to think that we could maybe start trying to leave some of that behind and try and just actually enjoy the game, because at the end of the day, the petty squabbling that goes on around the place is like really pointless, and at the end of the day, we're all human. We've been going through a lot recently, and this should just sort of be something that we can all turn around and just say, hey, do you know what, this is kind of nice to have, and it's something that not many people would like. You know, I look at other developers; they would have turned around and said absolutely not to this. But
Would have touched it with a barge pole.
exactly. Whereas Chris, you know, he's sort of like a community guy as well, and I know there's like lots of different opinions go around, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, you know, it's nice to see that somebody has sort of listened to what and maybe even considered things like this, and it might even open a door. Who knows? It might open a door for some other developers or even Chris himself to maybe experiment with doing some more unusual or fictional logos and stuff like that. Just have a bit of bloody fun, you know. Have some entertainment.
To be frank, this game is on borrowed time.
My name's not Frank. Neither's yours.
But it is. It's definitely on borrowed
Hey, Chris.
time, and like we gotta savor
What we got.
what we got.
I mean, people like me, like I mean, like you lot know, me and Andy and Chris, we make a series. We make episodic content using the game. I don't see me going anywhere with this anytime soon. I'm going to stick with this because I've invested a lot of time and money and everything into it. But that's why I'm saying it's nice to see this sort of thing done, because it could be one day something like this could be seen as either a classic or a hurrah or whatnot. But
MSTS, anyone?
yeah, look at that, man. That's still got a good community going though.
It's got a very strong community going, and we're probably going to be exactly these people in 10 years' time.
We already are. It's essentially the community that keep this game going for this sort of thing, isn't it? Running. Oh, that red brick shed's over there.
We're gonna go there soon, but however, I
No, Chris. I mean, give me the bada.
Oh yeah. Chris. Yeah, I'm aware. There's also some engines in the platforms because I forgot to delete those.
Brilliant.
One of them is a sin, as Tom calls it. So everyone is gonna get to meet the sin.
Sin?
The sin.
How's the sin?
Well,
I can't remember how he said that sin is. Well, I can think of the sin is like a...
Tom, it's a cathedral. It is a cathedral. But I have sinned with the cathedral. Also, Heims with XP.
Oh no.
Done.
I know exactly
Have
what
you
he's
got
done.
a GWR tender?
It's not the
No.
tender.
It's the A2 tender. Or the
Oh,
A1.
no.
I forgot to delete it.
I hate you.
Wow.
The thing is, I need to drive it because I need to move it out of the way. Alright, we're stopping now.
Oh, also, there is one thing I wanted to say as well, quick, which is that we're doing this stream now, and we've done the promo and everything, and the trailer. Bear in mind, everybody, that there will still possibly be improvements and changes done to this over the next time with feedback. So it could be a little bit different on release. So take this as like a first impressions and like a first look. Sorry to
Hate
take
it so much, Chris.
taking everyone talking, by the way. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
No, it's fine.
First, by the way, Chris, because I'm pretty sure if you leave it there, that engine's gonna foul it.
Yeah, I have one question. This is to Guion.
Of course.
Oh, actually, I'm kind of annoyed with that. That looks pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
If I click on this engine with this tender, will it completely crash my game?
Probably.
No, because it has a tender. It
Famous
must
last
have a tender connected. It doesn't care what tender it is. It just has to have one.
Ah.
That's correct, yeah, because we've run it with different tenders, haven't we?
Play
Yeah.
and play. Because I wasn't allowed
Right.
to click on any of the logos.
Why have you done that, Chris?
I wasn't allowed to click on any of the logos. No, it's good.
No, пиздец.
Well, it didn't crash. Brilliant.
So, now comes the return journey where I'm actually going to try to get this bitch over 100. I don't care if I roll it. I'm just going to try to get it over 100.
I still can't believe you've left it without tender. I'm not going to lie, though. It doesn't actually look the worst thing I've ever seen. I think because it's a big logo, but...
Pause. Pause 9, pause. Center player. Are we going to be good? Yes, we are. Okay. Good. Just making sure. I don't want to derail here.
Yeah, you do.
No, fuck you, Tom.
We've been going for nearly 3 hours already.
Yeah, and guess what?
What?
I'm going back down.
I'm going back down, boys.
But I'm gonna do something that I don't know if you guys were planning on doing, but if you did, not sorry.
What? Is this a lineup of... Chris? I've noticed there's a few engines in your shed. Why is there just a tank engine or a diesel loco in there?
That's there to shunt the coaches.
Okay. I'm
Is
worried
it?
it's going to be like something stupid like a super pug.
No. It's like, I think it's either Virgil or Riley. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't hate this. I don't hate this. I'm gonna be honest. I do not hate this.
I can feel Andy getting very, very triggered though.
Andy,
No.
do you still love me?
No.
Could be worse. I tried it with Rick's tender earlier on. It looked awful.
I'm not speaking in here ever again.
Can I just point out that people are loving this with dogs are to their heads?
One person said they like it. Don't get carried away,
2 people.
Chris.
Dick.
One. I'm going to delete the other comment just to make it so I sound correct.
Yeah. I was just gonna point that out. This is basically an exchange Shaw's mock-up. I also did it with the bullied apple green tender that Ben Booth did. And I don't hate it, but it's not the best.
Okay, my comment is now null and void because loads of people are saying I love it.
I'm doing bad things to myself tonight,
No.
that's it.
Hey, look! There's a bunch of cathedrals lagging the fuck out of my game.
Brilliant.
And something else. Anyways.
Little John.
Alright, so now that we've reached the turntable, I think it's time to introduce you guys to the people sitting around the turntable.
No, it's not.
We're not stopping in time, are we?
Andy hates Chris and other stories.
We're not stopping in time, are we?
Hey Chris, you know what you could do? Press A and then pause.
That we good.
Does that cause a dead stop?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the family.
Ugh.
Oh god, this isn't the mafia, Chris.
The fam.
Welcome to the family.
I don't like it. Stop,
Anyways.
stop talking like that.
So, of course, we gotta have the OG, the Great Bear. Here's Alfred's Nicotine. This is Andy's, that we showed off later.
Earlier.
And in apple green. Here's Bexford Cathedral.
You want to show the nameplates, Chris?
Yes. Alfred's Cathedral. Number
Alfred.
8.
Alfredston.
Here's Bexford. Only problem I have with that is that it says Ford.
Alright, calm down. I own a Ford. It's all I could afford.
Here's my baby boy in ultramarine.
It's not red though,
But it's got red lining, it counts.
guess.
Over here is Blanberis.
That was
I actually, of our named ones, I think I actually like Blamberis as a name the best. I'm not gonna lie. I like all our names, but I think that one like sounds like it could have actually been a proper cathedral.
Is
Does
it?
that make sense?
And then,
Might do.
this one. We won't talk about this notch.
Okay.
Worcester's Cathedral in Latecrest. You want
Yeah, boy.
So there you have it, the boys.
It is though, Chris, right? It's called Wolfchurch Cathedral, but it hasn't got wall sharks outside Valkyr.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
I am doing bad things to myself. That is it.
Now, you know what?
Have they all got double chimney, by the way, Chris?
No.
They should do.
I think all of these should have double chimney, shouldn't
No,
they?
Well, they should be.
Because I
Oh.
decided to give Bexford Cathedral single chimney because he's lesser than the rest of them.
Oh, right, he's only got a small one.
He's only got a small one.
Oh, if I told you that I'm actually going to have Wolfchurch Cathedral fitted with a LEMPO ejector.
Okay.
Just
Well,
on
that's
that.
it. This is it. You're
I'm
going
actually-
too far.
I'm actually waiting for Ben to pop in and just fucking yell at me because I said that his cathedral's lesser than ours.
All he put is wow.
Anyways, yeah. Should I just end it here?
Yeah, just
With
chuck
the
yourself off a bridge.
Just then jump. Yeah, just death.
Yeah, I
No,
think this is a good place to end it.
Is it?
I'm going to absolutely
Yeah.
abuse you. I don't want to disrupt your stream. I don't care, Ben. Don't worry about it. You're good. If you want to come here, if you want to come in here and scream abuse at me, you're not the first one tonight. Come on, do it then.
Threatening you,
Come at me, bruh.
threatening you, Ben.
You threatening me, Master Jedi?
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for you to pop in. Come on, Ben. Come on, do it, bitch.
Oh, someone told me no, I'm not allowed to fit. I don't think they said I'm not allowed to fit a Lempo ejector. Okay, Giesel ejector it is then.
Connect him instead.
Oh, brilliant. Well done, Ben. Thank you for doing that.
Wow.
Hello. So, Ben, while you're here, quick, what do you think of the cathedrals?
Big.
Okay, that was it.
Thank you.
And I don't find it ironic as well, Andy, that there were like, it's basically just the southern region guys in Kent, and then basically everyone in the west that have these. Like, there isn't any sort of like Midland, like as in like preserved Midland or Eastern versions.
Good, because that's how it should be.
Good. Yeah, but why would we have these things over in Kent?
Why not?
Well, big
I
train.
just-
Go to the
I feel like-
island.
I just realised
Bitringo
something.
Burr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the world.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, at those final words, I think this is time to end the first of the 4 proper promo things that we're doing for this thing.
I'll put a number on it.
Promo
We might-
things.
So
Yeah, I might even do a stream, you know, because
yeah.
Oh, man.
This is what was all I was contractually obliged to do. So
oh, you're not doing anything else then. All right, cool.
no, I'm
next.
deleting the cathedrals off my computer from now on after this.
All right,
I'm
fuck off then.
Apparently, I was
Yeah.
disowned because I accidentally fucked up and told Riley. So we're good.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
I'm not going to forgive you for that, Chris.
All right. Well, anyways, I believe before Ben yells too much abuse at me that we're gonna end it here.
Can't.
Thank you. So I would like to thank you all for popping in and staying in. I've seen that we've stayed constantly at the 30 to 50 mark, so that's impressive for my standards. But yeah,
What, your BR standards?
yes.
Oh, fuck's sake, Ben. I was going to make that joke.
We
Get out
should
of my
probably
head.
say that yes, we are going to do a race on the night before the launch. I
Yeah.
Oh
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're doing
the
a
idea-
race, and we're gonna
the
lose.
idea- The idea is that we're going to do a couple more videos, like me and Andy and Reese. The other guys are welcome to make videos if they want. Like, I'm expecting Callum to maybe do a Grave Trains on it, or
Okay, strange.
Anthony. I don't know you do videos much, Anthony, but maybe some artwork, perhaps. I don't know,
Or screenshots.
or some screenshots or whatnot. Ben should Ben o'clock. But right before release, the plan is that we're going to do a big race or a series of races on a big live stream night before the release. So hopefully, yeah, everyone will be tuning in for that.
No, there is no schedule. Just look for the weekends and check out SWP, DDJP, and AWP. That's where the main things are going to happen.
Pretty
Sound-
much.
Sound fair?
No,
Alright, sweet. So,
Now.
with that, preferably before I get interrupted too much more, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. This has been
no way.
the GWR fictional Hawksworth Cathedrals. Say goodbye, fuckers.
Bye, fuckers.